this.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal.
But on Wall Street, continued concern about all these tariffs affecting the economy. Dow futures are down more than 600 points after plunging well over 4,000 the past 4 trading days as markets also fall again around the world. There's another hearing today for the ex-Columbia grad student the Trump administration is trying to deport for his role in destructive anti-Israel protests in New York City.
Federal immigration judge Jamie Comans wants to see the Department of Homeland Security's evidence against Mahmoud Khalil. He's being held in a Louisiana ICE detention center, accused of being a pro-Hamas protester on Columbia's campus last year. The federal government plans to deport him, even though he's legally in the country. Khalil claims he's been detained for exercising his free speech rights.
Fox's Gernal Scott. It's up to 98 people dead in the Dominican Republic disaster when a roof fell in a crowded nightclub early yesterday. Singer Ruby Perez among those performing. He was among the killed. America's listening to Fox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
An Indianapolis family is planning a funeral. It's 35 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today, 48. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02.
I just want everybody to really understand the type of loss that our family took.
That woman speaking with Wish TV about her brother who was shot and killed in Indianapolis just a couple of days ago. He was only 15.
In that case, I just feel like a lot of people go in fight or flight mode.
Yes.
And I just don't feel like a lot of people are even mature enough to even have a firearm with them because, again, we're all human. We immediately go to fight or flight mode.
And that shooting happened on Indy's near northwest side along West 27th Street. Police say another teenage boy killed him. In fact, that teenage boy is charged with double murder. An Indianapolis Colts player named Braden Smith says he thought about suicide right before he checked himself into a rehab last season.
He's had OCD probably his whole life. They said, I think, in the story it says this, but at least going back to at least third grade. And then that's just where the psychologist can trace it to.
That's Indy Star writer Joel Erickson joining 107.5 The Fan and The Fan Morning Show yesterday. Smith says he's okay and he's looking forward to playing this season. Child seduction is a charge against a man from Rochdale. Here's John Herrick.
Police say they started looking into a 36-year-old man named Corey Reeves in June of 2024. What they say they found is that Reeves spoke to a minor over social media and provided controlled substances to get child porn from that minor. An arrest warrant for Reeves was issued last week. He was taken into custody on Tuesday along with child seduction. He's also charged with child porn possession and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Depending on where you are, you're probably paying about $3.20 to $3.30 for a gallon of gas these days in the capital city. But Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy says you may be paying less soon.
No, has nothing to do with drill, baby, drill. In fact, as a result of the big drop in oil prices, oil companies are less likely to drill, baby, drill. Not incentivized with falling prices. Oil companies tend to decrease oil production.
And DeHaan credits the tariffs for slowing down the economy and OPEC for ramping up production. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Here's traffic with Matt Baer.
All right, Ryan, a kerfuffle here on the west side as we look at eastbound 70 at Harding. The right lane is blocked. We have 1,000 vehicles in this right lane right now, and it looks like construction here at the moment as we acquire more information. But right now, yes, right lane closed. Eastbound 70 at Harding. Stop and go traffic to Tibbs. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the Fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clouds increase throughout the day today, and we'll see the chance for some scattered showers. It will be breezy as well, with highs near 50. Good chance of rain overnight tonight with lows in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
It's still chilly outside, 31 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the going at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey starts right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Yes, we're going to get into tariff talk. Yes, we're going to talk about property taxes. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. But first, Rob.
Yes.
There's something going on in downtown Indianapolis right now that I may have to excuse myself to go watch for just a little bit. Did you see on your way in?
Yeah, it was much slower to get into work today. Who are all these pedestrians that were ruining my usually expedited trip to the greater downtown area?
Yeah, they're firefighters.
Oh.
There's a lot of firemen walking around downtown.
Yeah.
And today they have the firefighter challenge.
Oh.
ESPN has called it the toughest 2 minutes in sports.
How exciting.
And it's where they battle against each other.
What is it, like the gladiators?
Yeah, it's like where they have to time putting on their uniform.
They turn the hoses on each other? Or
it's
what
where
do they do?
They time out putting on their uniforms and scaling ladders. Yeah.
Well, I'll get a large-scale fan to dry you off here, and in the meantime, if that's all right, we'll just continue with our radio program as scheduled.
All right.
Thank you.
But it's kind of like you with the Masters. You know, the Masters is coming up. Your attention may be diverted.
Right.
This is like me.
Except I'm watching the best sport has to offer. You're just lusting after strange men. You and I are not the same.
Okay. You want to talk about property taxes?
Yes. So today is the day, the second, what is known as second reading, the property tax bill in the House. This abomination will be taking place at 1:30, by the way. 1:30. They made sure to wait until we were off the air before they did the votes. And look, it's a fait accompli. There will likely be, I was told, a couple of Republicans who will vote against this monstrosity. They will offer amendments that will likely be ignored in the order in which they're received to try to fix the bill. But the bottom line, it appears this bill is headed towards passage in the House. And you, as we've laid out in the whole process, you will be getting screwed in interest of further protecting big business in the state of Indiana.
Now, I saw something yesterday. We've been talking about how homeowners could receive up to $200 in credits starting next year.
I hope they didn't strain a muscle doing all that work on behalf of the homeowners.
Right. But I actually read something yesterday that said it's probably more like $188.
Well,
it just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
So again, if you're just like new to the party, the House of Representatives has a property tax bill that is 368 pages. The basis of the bill, and this is the most government thing ever. So think about, this is how government ruins everything it touches. The governor presents a bill that is 40-some pages. It's very easy to understand. It's very, very well written, and it does a couple of core things. It resets your property tax bill, it caps the growth that your bill can go up going forward, and it reforms the referendum process. Pretty simple, right? Universal. We should all agree with all those things. Then the Senate gets it, and it goes from a 40-something page bill to a 100-something page bill, and it does not give you property tax relief. So the bill's gotten bigger, you're getting screwed. Then the House gets it, and it goes from a couple of hundred pages to 368 pages. You're getting even less help, Oh, and your taxes are going to go up. Income taxes will go up as a part of this bill. Oh, and by the way, now we're going to throw in businesses who already get massive tax breaks. We're going to eliminate the personal property tax that they pay. So what that's going to do, because there won't be this part of the equation anymore in terms of the property tax caps, because they're not messing with those, and they're not messing with AV, which is the crux of all this problem. Now your bill will go up because all of this personal property that was a part of the tax equation, businesses won't be paying that anymore.
Yeah, so the bill benefits corporations more than it does property owners, and it really is shifting the tax burden from property taxes to local income taxes, which is going to offer minimal relief to taxpayers, if not even increase what you're going to have to pay.
And by the way, people are very concerned in the YouTube chat. I'm not sick. I don't have a fever. I don't have like congestion. My voice is just, I don't know if it was a victim of screaming at Houston during that game when you were, I don't know what it is.
Oh, I thought you meant Todd Houston.
Yes, well, maybe. All right, so let's walk through a real world example of how they get people in the State House and how you get screwed. Let's talk about how, because people will say, well, how does this bill keep getting bigger and why? What they do is they figure out ways to get people to vote for their thing. This is why the system is so broken. So I'm going to give you a real world example because yesterday we spent much of our day trying to figure out why what we thought was our friend, J.D. Prescott, screwed us, turned his back on all of you, turned his back on those people at the rally, turned his back on our audience when he came on the show, and voted for this monstrosity. And we said, why would you do that? Like, what possible incentive could there be for you to have essentially lied to all of our audience and those people at the rally? Because everybody knows what this bill is. It's a giveaway to big business. The House version now a giveaway to big business, and your taxes at best will remain neutral. They're likely going to go up because of the income tax increases that are in this bill. But at best, you get neutral, big business gets a giant giveaway. Why would someone do this? Well, there's a bunch of things in this bill now that do not relate to property taxes. Or in the sense of if they relate to property taxes, not your homeowner, like what Braun's simple bill was, which, right? It's all targeted. It's very simplistic to understand. Well, J.D. Prescott has a long-running feud with the Union School Corporation.
Correct.
It's well known, and I have talked with multiple people who've talked about the conversations that they have had directly with J.D. Prescott about the Union School Corporation. I've heard him mention it before.
So the Union School Corporation, it's a district in the eastern part of the state.
Right, which is his district, right?
Right.
And part of the Union School District is in Randolph County. Part of it is in Henry County, is my understanding, right? So who was it? Was it Chalkbeat that had this? I
yes.
forget who was.
Yeah,
anyway,
it was Chalkbeat.
Has this article about in this bill, it will dissolve the Union School Corporation. What does that have to do with property taxes?
Nothing.
Nothing. It has zero to do with what this is supposed to be about, which is helping you be able to afford to stay in your home. But there's the giveaway, right? Oh, so you want this school corporation to go away. What does that have to do with property taxes? Nothing. Oh, but Mr. Representative, aren't you very passionate about this?
We want to get you on board somehow. So let's sweeten the pot for you.
We want the guy who has been up until yesterday or a couple days ago was the real thorn in the side who has teamed up with the radio guys, and we hate the radio guys. What can we do for you? Because we don't want any dissension. We don't want any no votes. So now, under this bill, the Union School Corporation would go away, which is what he wants. And he's going to get what he wants, and then he's going to vote to screw you. And they think we won't figure this out. They think we're stupid. They think we fell off the turnip truck. I know how to read these bills. I know how to find this stuff. Oh, and by the way, lots of people wanted to talk about this. Lots of people that'll be affected by that choice wanted to talk about this. Like, they always think we're stupid. It's like Diego. They think we're stupid. They think we can't read. They think we can't find things online. No matter how many times we do it, they think they're smarter than us. We are able to put these things together. And by the way, JD, if that's not it, you want to come in here and have a conversation, don't send your buddy, Jack Jordan, to send me some bizarro voicemail about your relentlessness and glide path. You come in here and do it. Kev, did we hear back from Jack Jordan?
We have not heard back from him.
So this
You sent him an email though.
Yeah, I sent him an email, and I got a couple emails from people that he works with that were saying they would forward the email to him.
Oh, so they and we have no doubt that government workers would do their job.
Sure,
we're team State House government worker. No doubt they sent him the email. So if you missed yesterday's show, we're talking about why J.D. Prescott would stab us in the back, and then my phone rings with a call from him while I'm on the air. I'm like, why would you call me while I'm on the air?
Right.
Like, you clearly know.
You know where I am.
Right. And it came from JD's phone, but it's this guy who I've never met that I remember. I've never talked to this guy.
A representative from District 17, which is Fulton County, Plymouth area.
Right. So it's this guy, Jack Jordan, and he leaves this bizarro voicemail, which I've played for you. You guys have heard this voicemail, right? And it's all about JD's relentlessness and glide path. And so two grown men are sitting around, and Prescott is like, "Hey, Kendall's being mean to me. I don't want to deal with him. Could you call him and tell him about my relentlessness?" Like, what? So we said, okay, you want to be a tough guy, Jack Jordan. We'll have Kev reach out. Why don't you come in here and to my face, not on a voicemail when you know I can't answer the phone. Why don't you come in here to my face and tell me about JD's relentlessness and his glide path? And then we'll also talk about how you guys are screwing everyone with the property taxes.
Yeah, so this school district would dissolve on July 1st of 2027. The section of the district located in Henry County would become part of the Blue River Valley School District, and the section in Randolph County would become part of the Monroe Central School Corporation. And has nothing to do with property taxes.
That's right. So that's how it works. And we're not stupid, and we will always figure it out. And you guys you're all gross. All right. We got a lot to get into today. What are we doing? What's
we do have a lot to get into. And you know what? We're going to be somewhere on Monday. So let's tell everybody where we're going to be Monday.
Okay.
All right.
Should we do it and come back?
Yeah.
All right.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Life moves fast.
Another new directive from Donald Trump.
President Trump will not be deterred to make our federal government more efficient.
So does the news.
We expect those meetings to take place very soon.
Decisions made today.
I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic.
No threats to national security.
Could impact you tomorrow.
Accountability and transparency.
What's next?
You never know what's going to happen.
Need to know what happened.
We're already tracking it. Stay in the know while you're on the go on 93 WIBC.
Spring is here, and it's time to shake off winter's dust, dirt, and allergens. Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and if you're ready for a true spring clean, listen up, because this deal won't last. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning. That's real savings and the perfect way to refresh your home. Winter leaves behind grime and odors and allergens trapped in your carpets and air ducts. And remember, your air ducts are the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, so is your air. Zero Res's patented ZR water cleans with no soap, no residue, and no harsh chemicals. Just fresh, healthy carpets and air. Beat the spring cleaning rush. Call 317-388-5141 or book online at zeroresindy.com. And don't take my word for it. Just check out 4,900 5-star Google reviews. Call now. Mention WIBC. Get 3 rooms cleaned starting at just $119 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141 or zeroresindy.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit Target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Quality Supply and Tool, your premier supplier of construction equipment, tools, and supplies, is hiring CDL drivers. Call Brian Myers at 317-690-2016.
Let's get into some tariff talk. The 104% rate against China is in effect, and guess what? They have now imposed an 84% tariff against us. They're reciprocal tariffs, so we're in tariff wars. They responded to the response to the response to the response. Here we go.
Well, what did they think was going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, this is why it's like, I saw the meme. You probably know this. It's the old guy with the cup of coffee looking at his computer, smiling.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty famous thing. And it's like the thing went from, now I'm a so-and-so expert to an international trade expert. And that's everybody, right? That's the society we live in because everybody has access to a cellular telephone. And as such, you have access to Twitter and Facebook. And everybody believes their voice is more amplified than it actually is, right? And the reality is you don't, unless you are some sort of renowned economist, you have no idea what's going on. And you have no idea the long-term ramifications. Now, you can pontificate, you can speculate, but the reality of this is our trade and the way we do business around the globe is slanted in favor of other countries. Period. Full stop. Like it's indisputable that the way we do business around the globe is slanted in favor of other countries. It's not open for debate or discussion. It doesn't make me the smartest guy in any room. It means I can do math and read documents. Now, you can say that's fine. We like that we're beholden to other countries. We like that we're dependent upon other countries. And we like that we're so addicted to really cheap stuff that we're letting other countries dictate our economy. Maybe you're for that. That's fine. But that's the argument we're having here is what do we want our buying power to represent? What do we want our place in the world to represent? And how much respect over the long haul do we demand for what America brings to the table in the world economy? That's what this conversation is about. There are differing views on that. But this whole bit, like he's collapsing the economy. He says he's not doing anything. Like the stock market is up like 100%.
It's still higher than it was during the low point during the pandemic.
Well, right. And it's way higher. And nobody freaked out in those, there were 2 Biden years where it was just down.
Yeah.
And nobody, down over years. We're not talking over weeks or months, down over years. And nobody was like, oh my gosh, the economy. It's manufactured outrage. Are there going to be effects because of this? Yes. Will some things get more expensive because of this? Yes. But you, me, Kevin, we have no freaking idea what the long-term ramification of this is going to be. Are there things Trump could be doing better in terms of messaging? Yes. Do I think he's doing too much too fast? Probably. But I'm not some person that's going to run out with my hands shrieking, oh my gosh, someone please think of the children, because you don't know what the long-term ramifications of this are going to be. And depending on how it ends up, we could end up in a much better position in terms of our dominance in the world economy.
Well, and that's what Donald Trump is banking on. So the Treasury Secretary, he said almost 70 countries have now approached us wanting to rebalance the global trade. And last night, Donald Trump said that countries are calling him left and right.
This is bigger than any deal. You guys, some of you work for companies. Your companies are peanuts. I don't care how big they are. Compared, this is the largest transaction in the history of our country. And don't let some of these politicians go around saying, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate. Congress takes over negotiating. Sell America fast because you're going to go busted.
Is he talking about Todd Young? Because Todd Young is one of the people who's pushing for a congressional voice on tariffs.
And isn't it amazing? Those guys didn't care at all when Biden was in charge. Think about it, they didn't care at all about what bad deals Biden was doing. But now, because they hate Trump and because they can't stand that they're not in control of everything, and when it succeeds, look, long term, it will likely succeed in terms of if the goal is to enhance America's global dominance, global footprint, and the expand the buying power and the prestige of America's buying power across the world. That will likely happen in the long term. And they can't stand that because Trump will get the credit for it. Now, he's also going to get the blame until it works out, if it does. But Trump doesn't care. He's term limited. He can't run again. It doesn't matter to him. He's doing the thing, and they can't stand that. And that's what this is. That's what this is all about.
Yep. Okay, coming up on Monday, you and I are going to be joining some Front Porch Patriots.
That's right. If you will see her on the YouTube chat, I'm holding my hat up.
I was going to ask you because, you actually did the work on this one. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
I did what work?
You got us set this all up, the invite?
No, they just called and said, do you want to do it? I said, okay.
Okay.
I said,
and then you voluntold me.
Well, they pitched me a bunch of days, and I said, I'm not available on those days, and they kept moving the days. I think I've undersold myself over many years. I didn't know I could make people move days on things.
Really?
But, yes. So the Front Porch Patriots, they're a phenomenal group of people. There are some very, very beautiful homes on Meridian Street by the governor's mansion here in Indianapolis. And once a month, the group of very liberty, loving-minded people, large group of people, go to one of these very nice homes. They open the home up. You come, and they have a speaker of note, and they get really great speakers a lot of the time. Like next month, it's Braun.
Yeah.
And this month, they had asked, they said, hey, would you be willing to do this? And I said, I don't go anywhere by myself. So I only go if Casey can be there with me. And that way I have a witness.
And that's when you really had to do the negotiating,
disappear.
right? They were like, all right.
So we will be Monday.
Carlin Yoder's going to be there.
Yes, Monday
and
will
he's going to be speaking first, and then you and I are speaking. Is there a theme?
Property taxes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I wonder where we'll be at that point.
I'm not going to say who I'm meeting with. I got to go to a meeting later today about the property tax. And I'm thinking about just going with my Rolling Stone shirt. What is this thing called on that I have on over it?
You're just wearing a sweater. Yeah.
Is it a sweater?
Yeah.
And my property tax sucks hat.
Yeah.
Should I go
I noticed that you did bring something to change into.
But then I thought, nah.
If you wanted the presentation
this is me, baby.
Step up.
Yeah, this is me, baby.
I think you got to be you, and you're representing our listeners who are just, Hoosiers.
Right.
So you go to your big high important profile muckety muck meeting with decision makers.
These people are going to regret inviting me.
You think so?
Very quick when I show up. All right. Hey, Merritt's going to join us next.
Yep. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How the tariffs will impact inflation. You have a cloudy sky, but a clear radar. It's 35 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today is 49. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:31. You'll likely see higher inflation because of all the tariffs that President Trump has imposed on countries like China, says J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon.
I think the goal of all this trade stuff should be to make Europe and our trading partners, Japan, Korea, Philippines, stronger, not weaker, bring them closer as we build up our military.
And Dimon spoke with Fox News a couple of minutes ago. The president recently put a 104% tariff on China. China, in response, hit the U.S. with an 84% tax on U.S. goods coming into their country. You've likely heard police say this before, that some kids don't have basic conflict resolution skills, which leads them to commit violence. Reverend Charles Harrison of the 10-Point Coalition agrees.
It's just troubling that we have young people who are losing their lives over the kind of things that are leading to these shootings. It's just troubling.
Harrison speaking with Wish TV about a double murder that happened a few days ago in Indianapolis, where a 15-year-old kid was charged with killing 2 people. The Washington Capitals plan to honor Alexander Ovechkin for his history-making goal that he scored on Sunday. Goal number 895. He passed Wayne Gretzky for the all-time list in the NHL. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Checking all 3 major indices, they're down this morning. The Dow is down 378 points to 37,645.59. The S&P down 30 points to 49,8277. And the NASDAQ down 29 points to 1794. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity is up. Now is the best time in years to sell your home. However, some homes are sitting on the market. Hiring an expert who can maximize equity and maximize hassle is the key. That expert agent that I recommend is Mark Deedle. Perhaps you're worried with the challenging market you won't sell your home for the price it's worth. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Tim and Becky in Bargersville had to say about working with Mark Deedle. We were ready to downsize. We tried the big national instant offer route, and we got jerked around because that company canceled. the sale a week before closing. We called Mark Dietel to step in and help, and his team delivered big. We had multiple offers in 4 days, and we sold it as is for the price we needed. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
With my shopping cart, I move through the heart of a sea of fools, so blissfully unaware.
So about 1:30 today, it looks like, the House of Representatives will reconvene with the continued screwing of you, the property taxpayer. Let's get to the bottom of what's going on. Nobody knows how these clowns work better than this guy. 30 years in the Indiana Senate. Jim Merritt, hello.
Robert.
All right, so we have laid this out, that this is the most government thing ever, where Braun presented us a 40-something page bill that was very easy to understand. It was straightforward, and it helped the taxpayer. And at each step along its merry, misguided way, this property tax bill has gotten bigger, it's gotten more complex, and it's done less and less for the taxpayer. And now we have reached a point where I hate all of these people even more than I did when this thing started, which I didn't think was possible. And now they're about, in the full House of Representatives, to pass this monstrosity that will help big business, and it will screw you, the regular person. And it is like, I present to you government.
Casey, hate is a 4-letter word in my household.
Yeah. In most households.
But don't they deserve it? I mean, this is awful.
This is just a prime example, Jim, of government. Here they are presenting it as doing something to help taxpayers, when in reality, it's making things worse.
It's going to be an interesting day because it's on second reading, correct?
That's correct.
And
that always means.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is really the point where any member of the 100-member House of Representatives can amend it, can offer amendments.
And so, like, theoretically, our pal Andrew Ireland, who I think is one of the few guys with the pair in there, could make a motion that says, I make a motion that this is all awful, and I make a motion we go back to Braun's original bill, and they'll ignore him in the order in which he's received.
Yes, any member of the House of Representatives, including Representative Ireland, can offer amendment that consists of Governor Braun's first stab at it in January on Senate Bill 1 that Senator Haldeman wrote, and that passed the. Well, it was changed dramatically in the Senate Finance Committee, Tax Committee, but
we're not. But
initially, that was offered that Governor Braun ran on.
Yeah,
that could be in a minute. Could be offered for a vote, and it'll be very interesting to see what amendments are offered, what amendments are filed, what they're offered, and really it'll be kind of a drawing the line of what actually happens, because whatever passes today, second reading, if it's amended or not, will go and pass on third reading probably sometime next week.
So I want you to look into that.
Oh, I was told they're going Thursday. They don't even want to wait.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they want this off their plate.
Well, it will be Thursday.
Isn't that crazy?
Ramming it through.
Well, isn't it crazy? It's the same thing they did in the Senate, which is they don't want to deal with it. We got in the State House happenings. They don't want to deal with it.
No, they are highly frustrated right now, and many of them, not many of them. There's a group of them in the House and the Senate that are beating their brains out right now, trying to find a solution to this. They're writing property tax reform on the run. They're trying to please the governor's office, and they have to have 51 votes for possibly an amendment or to get the bill through unscathed, if you will. That came out of committee last week, and a lot of members of the committee, Republicans, are probably quietly, and Democrats loudly, didn't know what the fiscal impact, what the fiscal note was, and that's a big part of a piece of legislation.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Because Casey and I, remember we got into this
Government
yesterday.
101.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
So the fiscal note, the fiscal impact statement, whatever you want to call it,
yes,
is the basis of anything you vote on because it tells you how it's going to impact everything.
Right. It's the price tag. It's the price tag. It's like going to the grocery and seeing an apple. You want to buy an apple, but it doesn't have a price tag on it.
And all the Republicans voted for this bill without that thing.
Yes. Yes, they did. And that doesn't happen very often. That doesn't happen at all, Casey.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like they walked up to the cash register and opened up their wallet and said, "Take what you need, please." So look into your crystal ball, Jim. You said they are highly frustrated. Oh, poor babies. We're so sorry that they are highly frustrated. Let's ignore what's going on to the taxpayer. But how many amendments do you think are going to happen during the second reading? Like, how long do you think this meeting's going to go?
Well, I think the Democrats will offer a lot of amendments to the bill. There'll probably be 20 amendments that are filed on the bill, and as well as it will be interesting. Having a supermajority isn't like having 51 votes. They have many more votes than that, and so they'll pass any amendment that they want to. What will be interesting is those that were at your rally and spoke on this.
One of them's already stabbed us in the back, Prescott.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
He's dead to us.
He will vote for the committee bill that came out of House Ways and Means.
Oh, yeah, he already voted to screw us.
In
by the
committee.
way, Mayor, let's ask you.
Yes.
You're a grown-ass man, right?
I know about I'm a grown-up.
You were a grown-ass man your entire time in the Indiana General Assembly, correct?
I like to think so.
Yeah. Did you ever at any point, were you ever so afraid of someone being mean to you on the radio that you went to another senator, handed them your phone, and said, please call this guy on my behalf and ask them not to be mean to me?
No, I really didn't have any fear whatsoever when it came to the media. What I really wanted to do was embrace the media, and it got torched a little bit for it because I was always looking for the next camera,
but you
owned
your
microphone.
Stuff.
Oh, I knew my stuff, and I always use the media to get to my 130,000 constituents. That's how I embrace the media.
Because that's what J.D. Prescott did yesterday. Jack Jordan, you know this guy?
I know Jack Jordan.
Not Michael Jordan, but Jack Jordan.
Yes.
Also not Jack B. Nimble.
Jack, quick on the phone, though.
He's a state representative.
Yes.
State senator.
J.D. Prescott stabbed us in the back, voted for that bill, lied to our audience, lied to the people at that rally, and then instead of owning it and manning up and just saying, I'll come in and own it, he had this Jack Jordan guy call us from his phone while I was on the air, and it was this, Casey, you've heard the voicemail.
Yeah.
It was this long meandering thing about how relentless JD is in glide paths.
You know, this is what
you ever do that?
No.
You ever ask, say, I don't know who was there when, like David Long, to call somebody on your behalf on the radio and talk about your relentlessness and the glide path that you were on?
No, I never had that, but it's great that keeps us in business at WIBC. It's great content.
Yeah, it's great
Casey.
for us.
Yeah, it is great for us, and I've never heard of anything like that whatsoever.
It's sad for the voters.
Maybe an
Jim.
endorsement of a campaign or something like that to show that you belong at the State House, but no, not on an individual piece of legislation or anything about this. About this very frustrating on the run public policy about property taxes. That's the problem here. They are in a hurry.
Why?
Because you all and many people in Central Indiana are putting pressure on them, and as well as the fact that there are a lot of people around the state that don't think we have a property tax problem.
Real quick, we got to get to Diego.
Yes.
We got about 2 minutes left. We took the questions over.
Yes.
They electronically responded to the questions. They didn't answer a lot of the questions. They will not tell us who paid for this trip. You were in the Senate for 30 years. Can you imagine Connie Lawson going to India and then going, I ain't telling you who paid for that.
Well, no, there are so many things wrong with this. IEDC is in charge of economic development. The governor's in charge of economic development, and as well as with Diego Morales, our Secretary of State, crisis management demands that you get out there early and tell all, and as well as something that is believable.
Can you say that again?
Crisis management demands you get out there early and tell all.
Yeah. Diego, hello. You paying attention? Hear that?
Call your office.
You know what, Jim? I wanted to ask you a question because something that I have found is pretty prevalent in his campaign contributors is they seem to have contracts or working relationships with the state. Does that happen often? And at what point, which comes first?
I think it's an age-old practice.
Mm-hmm.
This happened in the 60s, and it's happening today, and it's that's why I've always been a proponent of disclose. And obviously the contributions have to be legal. They have to be American. They have to be within the bounds of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that if you take a campaign contribution, if it's $10 or $10,000, you have to defend it. You have to be able to defend it, and the disclosure, and let your constituents make the decision. And so,
which typically happens first, or is this just like this is the deal? Like, okay, you're gonna do this job for the state of Indiana, and because you're doing that, we've got this relationship. You're going to contribute money to my
I was
campaign.
31 years old when I was running for the Senate in 1989, 1990. So I wasn't even 31 yet. And I was 30. And I had a conversation with one of the pillars of the Senate and said, people want to take me out to lunch. And I don't know how I feel about that. He said, well, if somebody thinks that they can bribe you for lunch and you accept it as a bribe, then it is a bribe. And what you need to do is think, broadly about it and understand that you have your own thought and you are going to make a decision on your own, and a lunch can't bribe you. And I thought that was good advice for the 30 years, that you have to, whatever you accept, you have to defend it, but you have to have your own mind about how you're going to proceed with public policy.
All right, Merritt in the Morning. That's the podcast.
It is.
You had the great Terry Stacy on with you.
We did.
You can find that on YouTube and Facebook. And then Jim _Merritt on Twitter. You're the best, Jim Merritt. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show 306. This afternoon, we'll talk to our friends at the Murder Sheet podcast about the Richard Allen audio and a lot more. 93 WIBC.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25 5-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hello, guys. It's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. And right now, it is the Universal Windows Direct Spring Home Improvement event. If you've been looking around going, man, I got to get some new windows in this place, now is the perfect time. Listen to the 3 things going on with their Spring Home Improvement event. Number 1, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit, need 4, pay for 2. Need 12, you pay for 6. That's great. But on top of that, no interest until 2030. That's right. Let's see. It's 2025. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Is that 6 years? Is that right? Did I do public school math? That's 6 years, right? The next 6 years, no interest until 2030. And then on top of that, you get a $500 bonus off your entire home improvement project. So let's review. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No interest till 2030, and a $500 bonus off your home improvement project. Now, some restrictions do apply. So to get all the details, schedule your free and home estimate. Call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574, universalwindowsdirect.com. That's where you find them on the web. Tell them Rob sent you.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
You support them. Who supports you? Matt Bear and Ryan Hetrick provide insight, encouragement, and resources to help you navigate a loved one's recovery on the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Listen and get support wherever you get your podcasts.
I think it's probably the buttery biscuits, the rolls when you sit down from Texas Roadhouse. That is what is doing it. So Texas Roadhouse has replaced Olive Garden as America's top casual dining chain.
Oh, wow.
Olive Garden has held the title since 2018, but now they're in second place. Texas Roadhouse has had this resurgence in popularity.
Now, when you say top, do you mean it's like the most visited or the most amount of money or the most preferred? Like, what does that mean?
Increase in sales. Texas Roadhouse had a 14.7% increase in sales, totaling $5.5 billion. They have 722 restaurant locations.
Now, it has been several years since I've been in a Texas Roadhouse. Do they still do the peanuts or do they get rid of those?
I think they got rid of those a while ago. That was some allergy thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, well, why would you have if you have an allergy, don't eat the peanuts. It's another example of me paying the price.
For someone else.
Someone else. Like, I'm sorry about your peanut allergy.
Yeah.
If you have a peanut allergy, Texas Roadhouse has the peanuts. Just say, don't bring me the peanuts.
Don't go there.
Don't they let people throw the peanuts on the floor or the
shells? That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like a second meal you would get at no cost.
Yeah. I believe they used to do that. It's been a while since I've been into a Texas Roadhouse. I'm not one of those people that's contributing to their 14.7% increase in sales. But I think a while ago, they got rid of those.
Did they lower the price of food? Because I'm sure they're factoring the cost of the peanut into the cost of the meal. Did I get some sort of meal discount?
No,
really?
I'm sure not.
All right. Do they have the rolls? Is a roll still?
Oh, yeah.
thing?
They still have the buttery rolls.
Is that unlimited? Can you get seconds on those? Could you get some to bring home?
Is it like the breadsticks at Olive Garden where they just keep coming and bringing you more?
Here's the thing, though. And this is the question I pondered for many years about the Olive Garden, because I know people love the Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Is the spaghetti at Olive Garden really any better than the spaghetti at Fazoli's? I mean, seriously, you can get they got some deals like $5 for a thing of spaghetti at Fazoli's.
Is it never-ending spaghetti?
No, but how many people actually go back for seconds or thirds or fourths? Like, how many plates?
Right. Do you need?
Right. You'd have to go 3 or 4 plates of spaghetti to offset the cost difference between the Olive Garden and the Fazoli's.
Okay, but do you get the breadsticks at Fazoli's?
Well, you do get breadsticks. I don't know if it's unlimited, but I mean, how many? Like, what are you doing? Some sort of weight gaining operation? How many breadsticks do you need, woman?
So Chili's ranked third, and then you had Longhorn Steakhouse, followed by Applebee's, Outback, Red Lobster, and then Red Robin.
Longhorn is expensive, though.
Is it?
Well, compared to like the Texas Roadhouse, it's more expensive, I think.
Yeah.
It's nicer. It's a nicer dining experience, but I don't need nice.
Okay.
Look at how I'm dressed. Do you think I need nice?
What do you think Applebee's is on the list? You're a big fan of Applebee's.
Well, I used to be. I mean, I don't go out anymore. I don't leave my home. I very rarely leave my home. I go to the Arby's on my way home, the Brownsburg Arby's. The people there are phenomenal. They know me by name. They know what sauces to give me. They converse. I think they know what I do. So, like, I think some of them are listeners. But they're very nice. They, like, respect that they don't even, like, they know, but they don't, like, engage on a high level, and they run a really fabulous operation at the Arby's. Also at the Arby's, they know I'm into the coupons, so they just start proactively telling me about other specials that are going on.
What they have coming up.
But so I don't know. It's been a year since I've been with Chili's or any of these places.
To Applebee's. So
Yeah.
Red Lobster's endless shrimp promotion. Not only did that cause financial loss for them, it did not help them move up the chain of the number one casual dining places in the country.
See that scumbag Morales is bragging about his trip to India in his newsletter?
Yeah, he put that out in an official email, letterhead and everything. So that must mean he did that on state time. Did he take vacation days for that?
Yeah, let's talk about Diego when we come back, shall we?
Yeah, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients, including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140, paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
For over 20 years, Howard Bailey Financial has been helping families just like yours gain clarity, confidence, and purpose with personal and practical financial strategies. And now, we're offering our full suite of services on Rangeline Road, right in the heart of Carmel, making it even easier to meet with our experienced team face-to-face. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating life transitions, or just need guidance for your financial future, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Text CARMEL to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Ladies, most of us are exhausted and trying to figure out how to do it all. We just want rest. And if we're honest, a good long nap. What if I told you there's a better kind of rest? One that refreshes you and lets you operate out of overflow instead of exhausted leftovers. The women of Life Church are seeking God and holy rest. Join us on April 26th for our annual women's event. Take a deep breath. Rest is waiting. For more information, go to lifechurchin.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what one leader in Indianapolis says needs to be done about violence, what police say a man in Putnam County did to land himself in jail. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock, time for Fox News.
More stock market losses. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As the trade war escalates, with China boosting its tariff on American goods up to 84%. In retaliation to U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports that went up today to 104%. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox Business.
They are the surplus country that their exports to the U.S. are 5 times our exports to China. So they can raise their tariffs, but so what?
Bessent also says the economy is still in pretty good shape. But right after Bessent was on Fox Business, J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon came on, and Grady Trimble reports.
This is one of those rare interviews that can move markets. Dimon says President Trump's tariffs will raise prices and slow economic growth. He says a recession is a likely outcome of them, but nothing like the Great Recession.
It's serious, and it was serious before the last election. We have a huge, complex geopolitical situation, huge fiscal deficits, not just here, but around the world, sticky inflation, which I personally think will not go away so quick.
Now, the market was down. It's turned around in the last few minutes. The Dow gaining 324 points after a 4,500-point plunge the last 4 trading days. President Trump just posted on Truth Social, be cool. Everything's going to work out well. And he said it's a great time to buy. He maintains dozens of countries hit by tariffs are coming forward to negotiate deals. Another immigrant here illegally is jailed without bail. He'd been a youth soccer coach in California. Now he's an accused killer.
The LA County DA has charged 43-year-old Mario Edgardo Garcia Aquino with murder and a special allegation of murder during the commission of lewd acts with a child, making him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. Now, police say he killed one of his own soccer players, Oscar Omar Hernandez, who took a train to visit him at his home north of LA on March 28th, but he never returned.
That's Fox's Bill Malugin in Los Angeles. In the Dominican Republic, it's now 113 deaths in the nightclub roof to collapse. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a problem he wants you to be aware of. Radar is clear now. Expect some rain later on this afternoon. It's 39 in downtown Indy, high of 49. I'm Kylan Talley. Here's what's trending at 10:02. You've likely heard police mention this before. Some kids don't have basic conflict resolution skills, which leads them to resort to violence. Reverend Charles Harrison of the 10-Point Coalition shares that same view.
It's just troubling that we have young people who are losing their lives over the kind of things that are leading to these shootings. It's just troubling.
Harrison is talking about a double murder that happened a few days ago in Indianapolis, where a 15-year-old is charged with killing 2 people, one of whom was a 14-year-old boy. A Rochdale man ended up in the Putnam County Jail on Tuesday. John Herrick explains why and how digital forensics paid off.
Police say they took Corey Reeves into custody for child seduction, child porn possession, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. They say they had been investigating him since June of last year and found that Reeves had been talking to a minor over social media and provided controlled substances to get child pornography sent to him in return. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Threats against State Representative Jim Lucas were made in both voicemails and on Meta, say Indiana Capitol Police. Monday, they served a search warrant and arrested 55-year-old Robert L. Bennett of Terre Haute. He's charged with 4 counts of felony intimidation and was still in jail Tuesday on a $50,000 bond. You might not be able to do anything about it if you live in a neighborhood with an HOA and someone moves a food truck or an RV into their driveway. A bill discussed Tuesday in the state Senate would make HOAs powerless to prevent it.
Sometimes HOAs become a little bit too aggressive. And sometimes when there's new technology, they want to force that new technology. And sometimes we have to step in and make sure that they don't.
Republican State Senator Mike Boachek supporting the bill. Notre Dame football fans can meet standout players and view iconic trophies on Thursday. You are invited to Dick's Sporting Goods in Mishawaka from 2 to 7 p.m. to take photos with the College Football Playoff Sugar Bowl and Orange Bowl trophies. Players Jeremiah Love, Christian Gray, along with Leonard Moore and others will be will be available for photos and autographs from 5:30 to 6:30. I'm Kylan Talley on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey up in a minute.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What are you going to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
I'm not opposed to studying elections, but I do have a problem with the Secretary of State getting on a traveling road show. This from Sue Glick.
She was
from
awake.
LaGrange. She's awake.
She's awake. Sue Glick, for those of you who don't know, is a state senator who we estimate is about 993 years old.
Yeah. She said, just like I object to gold whistles and notebooks and lanyards in an election year. We have so much money in this state. I think this is a waste of time and money. Of course, they're talking about this bill that they debated for about 40 minutes yesterday. The bill passed 35-13 and now heads to Governor Braun's office, and it would require the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, to analyze the costs and impacts of changes to voting methods and elections in Indiana.
He should probably analyze the costs in his own office because it sounds like there's a lot of things we have questions about. And look, I think this will probably be just until we get the answers we want, sort of a daily or quasi-daily thing. You know, trying to get answers about the Secretary of State, Diego Morales. Now, Casey, I really think that our next step in this process, if you have not been following, Casey and I are on a quest to find out who paid for Diego Morales' trip to India and what he actually did in India and who he did it with. Now, we asked a series of questions. His office responded with something that resembled answers, but let's face it, we didn't really get anything out of that. And the fact that the Secretary of State of the state of Indiana, in his official capacity as Secretary of State, went to India and will not tell the public who paid for his trip to India, that is, I can't raise a bigger red flag than what I just described to you.
So, was it yesterday they put out this email? Or this.
He has a newsletter.
And
by the way, Diego,
that's what it was.
I can't tell you the amount of people who forwarded your newsletter to us. The public is very interested. This is how Diego gets away with his bull crap. And he's smart. And so he knows that he will do something. He'll pull some stunt or he'll get caught pulling some bull crap. And then because he knows the news cycle, just how quick it rotates, he'll weather the storm.
And just wait it out.
He'll deny, deflect. And then it just goes away. And then, you know, a month, 2, 3, whatever later, there's some new thing. He weathers that storm, and then it's on to the next thing. We're not going away, right? Okay, we're not going. And now, because we decided not to go away, the public is paying attention. We are the most powerful media outlet in the state of Indiana. This radio show has ratings that even our bosses are like, ooh, boy, wow, that's really good. There, go on your merry way. And we're not stopping, Diego. We're not going away until we get the answers on what you did in India and who paid for it. And now I was amazed. I was blown away at the amount of people who forwarded me this goofy-ass newsletter that he puts out where he's bragging about the trip to India.
Do you have the newsletter there?
Yes, I do, from many, many, many people.
Because it says, Happy Spring, Hoosiers. I'm excited to report that I've officially visited all 92 counties in just 3 months.
Oh,
again.
Yes.
But then can you go down
with his $90,000 car, by the way.
Right.
He left that off the list.
Right. He wants to highlight the wonderful Hoosier communities throughout the state.
I have it in front of me here.
Can you go down to the line where he talks about India?
You see here.
It's like 4 lines down.
Okay, yes. What's it start with? Because there's so much content here.
I have also attended various conferences.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yeah.
I have also attended various conferences in India and back here in the Hoosier State, such as the Northern and Southern Clerks Conference and Sheriff's Conference. These provide invaluable opportunities to connect with officials, listen to their needs, and collaborate on ways to improve our state's services and resources.
Yeah. In addition to his travels, his team and him, they've attended new business groundbreaking. So he's bragging about going to ribbon cuttings.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so let's review what we know about the trip to India.
Mhm.
Okay, so we now know without debate, discussion, or anything else that he was acting in his official capacity as Secretary of State in India.
Mhm.
Period, full stop.
Yeah.
He's in the newsletters. He's tweeted about it. There's no way he cannot say I was acting as the Secretary of State in India. We know he went to India per his answers that his staff gave with a guy named Raju Shinthala. Raju has, and also confirmed by his staff via those answers, has a contract with the state of Indiana. We believe that contract is paid or will pay by the time it wraps up here soon, $80,000. Raju was listed by people in attendance as a, quote, senior advisor. And we also know that Raju was on Facebook bragging about selling EB5 visa access while he was, and by the way, didn't the email they gave us, didn't they say he was acting in an official capacity, like his job with the state government or his contract with the state government? Didn't they allude to that in the email?
Right, because he has unique expertise and background related to Indiana-India relations.
So you've got a guy who is there with the Secretary of State, traveling the Secretary of State, acting in whatever official, because they don't tell you exactly what he does with this contract. You still don't know. But he's acting in whatever that capacity is. But he's also, what, in his free time, selling EB5 visas?
Yeah.
Like, how the hell does that work? How does that happen? On what planet does that sound ethical or above board? He's there. He's paid by the state of Indiana. He's there in that capacity for whatever that thing is. We don't even know what that thing is. But then on the side, his little side hustle, he's going to sell $800,000 EB5 visa access. Like, what? Where is this normal?
I'm just going to step out for a few minutes. I'll be back in a few hours.
Yes, I've got a few visas to sell. Okay, so then you determined, because you have been doing a great job digging on this, that there was also at one of these meetings, at least one of these meetings, there was this venture capital guy.
Yeah, from Indianapolis was there. He's the CEO of a venture capital company here in Indianapolis.
Right.
He was present.
Now, this is from somebody who was at one of the meetings. They tweeted or LinkedIn or whatever it's called on LinkedIn about it, bragging about how they met with Diego, Raju, and this guy.
Correct.
Okay.
And how they're excited about moving business into Indiana.
Yeah. So he's
very soon.
So the question would be, how does a guy in India make an announcement that he's moving to Indiana but yet the guy who was there, none of those people there have the ability to make economic development deals. So what have we missed in the process? Like, hey, if Braun's there or the head of IEDC is there, I get that. No problem. Well, then we can judge the deal on its merits. But how do you make an agreement to move to Indiana with a guy who doesn't have any authority to cut an economic development deal? Oh, and he just also happens to be surrounded by, or presumably surrounded by, based on that guy's tweet, a venture capitalist who we don't know how he ties into all this, and a guy who's selling EB5 visa access.
Correct. Yeah, you got it.
And nobody down the street from us is doing anything about this.
Yeah.
That's what I think that is the most amazing thing about all of this.
So that's just economic development in Diego's mind.
I guess. Now, you determined, because you started digging into his campaign, his being Diego Morales' campaign finance reports, that there was a very interesting donation from somebody who is now tied into elections in the state of Indiana.
Yes. Okay, so this company is called An Island.
An Island, like A-N and then the word island.
Island, LLC.
Like as Simon and Garfunkel said, I am a rock, I am an island.
Correct.
Very good.
Discover
you like that, Kev? How about that? Little classic rock reference.
Great reference.
I am a rock, I am an island.
So they say you can discover cloud-based technology and software solutions today. And they offered software using their election communication and results software. And this software has been used in Perry County from the clerk's office.
Hi, I'm Rachel Rourke, the clerk for Perry County, Indiana. Just wanted to give you a little information about an island and how amazing the people are, how amazing the company is. I came to an island a few months ago and wanted a way to showcase election results with a better system than what we were able to provide. So they showed this U.S. Elections Live program to us, and I immediately was hooked. My clerk's office, the whole office was hooked. My county election board was hooked.
Okay.
So what do they do?
It's a software that you can see results.
What do you mean see results? It's like you put the results in. They've been seeing results. I mean, I've been following local elections for 16, 17 years in this state. Like you go to the county, they put the
instant election result updates of participating counties.
It's a data entry. Like,
Correct.
what do you need special software to do that? Now, the question is, did they give money to Diego Morales?
They did. They gave $2,300.
How much?
$2,300.
Now, why would, if it's related to the counties, because the counties do their own software. It's their own deal. Now, they're obviously state election laws, but the county oversees their own election implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they be giving money to Diego Morales for something that is involved in county elections?
Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking Jim Merritt, which comes first? This is like chicken and egg thing, right?
Right. So one might be willing to say...
Because they knew he was running for Secretary of State, they wanted to help him out so that they could persuade him to use the software in more places throughout Indiana.
Well, and this is where, because Diego Morales has the transparency of a bat in the middle of the night, you can't get through anything and get answers with this guy. But one might think it's not out of the realm of possibility that when Diego is touring the state of Indiana in his $90,000 automobile, that he then has the ability to showcase this software, this product, to these county government officials who would then contract with these people
possibly
for this work.
Yeah, that's a possible.
How much did they give him?
$2,300.
Probably because they're running a soup kitchen. Well, I wonder if they're one of the by the way, where is an island from? Does it say like where they're located out of? Were we able to track that down?
You know what, I don't recall looking at
Are they
that.
an American company? Do we know that?
It's an LLC. I believe they're here in Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. Very good. Do we know who runs them, owns them? Maybe we can look into that and figure that out, because that would be interesting to know.
Tell City.
And they are... We'll keep looking on that. That might be interesting. Anyway, this is the point of all this. The radio guys are doing the digging, and some of this we're doing just live on the air because we want you to see how transparent we are about this, since the Secretary of State won't be transparent about anything. And the legislature won't make it be
I did have the person's name because it was like the name, and then I found the company.
Ah, very good. Well, maybe that'll be our update tomorrow. But so, Diego, we're not going away. By the way, we need to call IDOA and find out what it's going to take from just a logistics standpoint to get to broadcast outside of Diego's office, because I think that's our next step.
You want to do that, huh?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Are we going to go over to the Inspector General?
Yeah, we need to do that as well.
We have so many things we need to do, Rob.
And Diego could put a stop to all this if he would just be transparent and tell us who paid for the trip.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that, though.
And what you did there with Raju. Those are two things we really want to know. And we want to know about the venture capital guy.
Just hanging out at the hotel
We want to know
bar.
how many visas that Raju sold, you know, since he was there with you. Anyway, hey, when we come back, you want to hear a little insider baseball and how rotten some of these politicians are, and how they're going to screw you to help their business buddies. You want a little stroll, a little story time?
Yes, can't wait.
Perfect.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
13% plunge in Hong Kong's market overnight. Dow futures are down more than 800 points.
Market futures are dropping. Short-term pain.
Hear the news.
30 counties are under flood warnings. There's no rain in the forecast over the next few days.
As events happen,
15-year-old kid shot and killed 2 people.
we'll happen to be there.
Train derailment near South Sherman Drive.
6 of the train cars left the track.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Quality Supply and Tool, your premier supplier of construction equipment, tools, and supplies, is looking for CDL drivers to serve out of our Indianapolis location. We're currently accepting applications for both CDL-A and CDL-B drivers. We offer competitive pay to qualified applicants. Work for an established and growing family-owned Indiana company? Please contact Brian Myers for more information at 317-690-2016. That's Brian Myers at Quality Supply and Tool, 317-690-2016.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit Target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Grease balls getting greasier, Casey.
You think so?
That's what's going on at the State House.
Yeah.
Grease balls getting greasier.
No surprise.
It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob Casey's here. All right, so before we get into that, I did want to just touch on one other thing with Diego.
Yeah.
And because he will not tell people who paid for his trip to India, which in and of itself should be like, we're done here. I mean, the General Assembly should be stripping his funding until he's willing to come clean, and who paid for his trip acting as an official in his official capacity. So what we've kind of been able to put together on this, and we need to call the Inspector General or email them, maybe we'll do that today when we get off the air, is because he acted in his official capacity, there's really only one of two avenues that we see here, and maybe there's a third he's going to come up with, but this is what we put together. Either this was a campaign-related thing, which if somebody else paid for the trip, that would be a huge no-no because you cannot fundraise during the budget session.
Yeah.
So the state has carved out a law, which is actually a pretty good law, which says, hey, every 2 years during the budget session, you cannot fundraise. So that would be a giant red flag, which would be interesting to see how he would try to maneuver around that. Or if it is indeed not a campaign-related event, then he's going to have to file a financial disclosure, it would appear, on that, and tell people eventually there's reporting requirements and time limits and everything else on who paid for this trip. But think about where we're at. We're investigating when the Secretary of State will have to tell you who paid for his 10-day trip to India. That's where we're at. He won't tell you. Why? Why won't he tell you? If he was on an economic development mission for the state in his official capacity as a state elected office holder, what possible expectation of privacy would you think exists for us, the public, not to know who was paying for you to, quote unquote, do your job?
So IN.gov still has his campaign Twitter and Facebook page connected.
How is that a thing?
As the government official page. So they have two separate accounts. They have their campaign account and they have their official account. For example, Micah Beckwith has an X, a Twitter account, which is Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith. That's the official state account. And then he has his own personal campaign account, which is the Micah Beckwith.
Yes.
Diego Morales has two as well. And on the official IN.gov website, they have linked Diego Morales, Secretary of State, his Twitter and Facebook to his campaign personal account, not his official state account.
I don't think that seems like a red flag. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he's asking for money and sponsorship on his campaign account.
Diego's always asking for money. Have you ever noticed that?
But he's asking for his own personal campaign.
We should have a contest.
Not for taxpayers.
Here's what we should do. We should have a contest between Diego and one of those guys, panhandlers, down on the circle for a day and see who can get the most amount of money, because Diego is great at begging for money. And so we should see if Diego can. That would be a highly rated program. Can Diego beat a panhandler? 'Cause that's basically what Diego is, the political version of a panhandler. All right, so let's talk about something really sketchy that's going on. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So remember about a month and a half ago, our old pal Daniel Elliott, who we love, Daniel Elliott, state treasurer, one of the few decent humans that exist down the street from us, one of the few competent people that exist down the street from us. He came in and he said, look, I am proposing a plan that I think could solve the property tax issue. And that plan involved allowing local governments, because they sit on all this money. That's what's come out of these hearings, right? Is how much money these local governments are sitting on in bank accounts. And what he said is, look, there are all sorts of restrictions that exist on these local governments and how they can invest their money. They have to essentially invest in what amounts to local institutions. I am proposing, in the sense of Daniel Elliott saying this, I am proposing that we open up the ability of these local governments to invest their money the same way the state of Indiana invests their money. And what this will do is it will enable more revenue to flow through to the local governments, which means you guys can do your property tax reform, save the taxpayers money in terms of money they don't have to pay in taxes, and we'll try to bridge that by simple reforms to the state law that allow local governments to play the game the same way the state of Indiana plays the game.
Right.
And we thought, oh my gosh, what a great idea. Why would anyone oppose this? Well, what we found out, he kind of alluded to this, and then we started finding out in our digging, is the banking industry is very against this, because they essentially then get quasi-monopolies over these government lending institutions because of the local requirement on where you can invest. Some counties, there's only one bank in the county. They've got the monopoly. You got to do it locally. So the special interest banking industry was vehemently against what our boy Dan Elliott was trying to do in terms of open the floodgates. Well, this thing was moving along, it appeared. Dan was doing pretty well, getting all these senators on board. They were signing up for it. And now we get wind that I believe tomorrow, our old pal Travis Holdman. Now, where did the name Travis Holdman come from? You may remember Travis Holdman as the guy that's the head of the tax committee in the Senate, who wrote Senate Bill, who supposedly wrote Senate Bill 1, then gutted his own bill and appeared not to give two damns that he gutted his own bill that he wrote. All right. I am told, because the Senate is working on their budget, that tomorrow it is his plan to tuck Holdman's plan to tuck into the budget, so we'll have to pass a bill or language that would not only gut what Daniel Elliott wants to do, which would stymie the ability of local governments to make more money to help you save property taxes, but it would also create a board that would oversee the Trust Indiana plan and put new rules and regulations around Trust Indiana, because they're mad that Daniel Elliott is going outside of his parameters and not bending a knee into these bankers.
Right. Okay.
Did you follow that?
So you've got Trust Indiana, which is a investment pool, right?
Right.
For the state. And the state uses Trust Indiana. And Daniel Elliott is saying, you know what? Let's allow these local governments into Trust Indiana.
That's correct.
And then they can make money, and then we can say no more property taxes for the taxpayers.
Right.
This is how we'll offset it.
Reduction,
right. This is how we'll offset it. But now, inside the budget, something that has to pass, they're putting language in there that says, no, sorry, local government, you can't use Trust Indiana.
You can't, we're not going to allow you to do the same things that Trust Indiana can do. And not only is that going to happen, this is how powerful lobbies are, right? This is why things don't get done. We're laying this out for you. Not only is the banking lobby that powerful, now the banking lobby wants to create new restrictions around Trust Indiana, like some sort of board. I don't know what the exact language is going to look like, but there's some sort of board that is being created that would stymie and limit the ability, what is currently taking place. you always lose to the lobbyists. And think about how, and by the way, if this is not true, if Travis Holman's not doing this, he can certainly email us. He can let us know this is not happening. I've heard this from multiple sources inside the State House that are not connected to each other that said this is going down. So if indeed it's not true, we welcome him. We've tried to communicate with him before, and we saw how far that got with the property tax thing, right? So I don't think we'll be hearing from him. But think about that. If indeed that is true, and multiple people have reported it's true, he's not only going to keep more money from flowing into these local governments, which would help you with property taxes, he's going to create new restrictions
to make sure it doesn't happen.
And thus, we look around and you say, this is why you're in the position you're in. And by the way, if Travis Holman wants to refute that, dispute that, put out a statement, he can come on here, whatever. We've heard this from multiple people that this is taking place, and they're putting it in the budget because they want it to pass. And if it's in the budget, it's got to pass.
We've got your voicemails coming up with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A judge rules on AP's access. I'm Kylan Talley, and this report is brought to you by Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 10:31. U.S. District Court Judge Trevor N. McFadden ruled that the White House must restore the Associated Press's access to President Donald Trump's news events. The Associated Press has been banned for using Gulf of Mexico instead of Trump's preferred term, Gulf of America. McFadden stated that the government cannot exclude upholding the Constitution's principles of press freedom. And last night,
when I'm just playing like a casual card game with my family or my friends, and then like,
now, wait a minute, is there
everybody
money
hates me by the
involved?
end of the night, and I'm like, oh great, I ruined Christmas, and it's like...
Caitlin Clark's feature on David Letterman's show, My Guest Needs No Introduction, premiered. You can watch the episode for yourself on Netflix. LeBron James is making history. Not the kind you'd think. He's making history down the toy aisle. The NBA superstar is getting his very own Ken doll. He'll be Mattel's first ever Ken ambassador for Barbie. The doll is taller than regular Ken dolls and features James wearing a varsity jacket, Beats headphones, and Nike Terminator high shoes. James said it's an honor to release the doll as part of the new Ken Ambassadors series. The doll will be sold for $75 at select Target stores and online at Walmart, Amazon, Target, and Mattel Creations beginning next Monday. I'm Kylan Talley on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
WindowNation.com, that's where you go to replace your cold, drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation like I did. I love my Window Nation windows. I've saved a ton on energy bills. And your new windows can be installed in 1 day or less.
Go big or go home. And that's what they're doing at Window Nation. Right now, get four windows for free with every 4 that you buy. And there's no limit. The more you buy, the more free ones you get. 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. You don't pay anything until 2027, and you get 4 windows for free when you buy 4. And on top of that, get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. This deal is not going to be around forever, so you got to hustle. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Nemhard to Matherin, kick out to the top. Here's a shot for the lead, and Nemhard hits a 3 from out on the left edge with 14 and 7/10 seconds to play. And it seems like this is happening every night lately.
Cheer on your blue and gold Thursday night when they host one of the hottest teams in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of the last regular season home games before the playoffs. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Cavs, Thursday at 7.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to find out what real retirement planning is all about? Tune in to Expedition Retirement with Greg Ayler, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
All right, before we get to the voicemails, we have 2 updates.
Yeah.
All right, so number one, I just heard from Daniel Elliott. He was either alerted to our segment or listens regularly. I don't know, whatever.
State Treasurer Daniel Elliott.
But he said, I heard your segment where we were talking about we were told is happening with this Trust Indiana plan where Travis Holdman, who apparently has been awakened from his midday nap long enough to try to make major changes that would allow local governments to more freely invest their money to create more revenue, because the vice grip the banking lobby has on the Indiana Senate is so strong, they'd rather screw you than piss the bankers off and give these locals freedom. He apparently heard our segment and said, I would like to come on and talk about this and give you an update on what's going on. So he's going to be with us on Friday morning to give an update on what's happening with this. Now, we were told Holdman's planning on doing this on Thursday, that he's going to tuck this horrible thing into the budget so that it has to pass, or he's daring people to veto the budget. Right. So what Daniel said, hey, I heard you guys talking about this. I want to come on Friday. We said, that's fine. Come on. We'll get to the bottom of if my birdies are correct in their saying of what's going on.
Okay.
Second thing, Texas Roadhouse. Earlier, what were we talking about earlier with Texas Roadhouse? Something.
That they have become the #1 casual dining spot in the country.
That's right.
Usurped Olive Garden.
That's right. And we got in a conversation about, do they still have the peanuts at the Texas Roadhouse?
Right. I thought they did not anymore.
Apparently they have the peanuts, but they're in a bag.
Can you not eat them at the table and throw them on the floor? They used to come in a bucket.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd still throw them on the... Well, I would assume. What do they want you to do with the peanuts? What are you supposed to do with the shells? Stick them in your pocket?
Right. So now they're just... The shells aren't floating around the restaurant everywhere.
Maybe that's the thing. If it's in a bag...
You can eat it at your table. You can opt in or
opt out.
Right.
If you have a peanut allergy... how close can you get to a peanut before the allergy takes effect?
Like, well, I think that depends on your allergy level, the severity of your
average
allergy.
person. If I'm 10 feet away... Am I in trouble?
I don't know.
Like you and I, Kev.
I don't know, Rob. I don't have a peanut allergy.
If you and I are this close and I have a peanut, do you think that would, like, if you had a peanut allergy, would that set off the allergy?
I think that's probably too close for comfort.
Really? Well, then how are you going to do that at a Texas?
Well, that's the problem. I think that's why they stopped doing them just at the table.
But then it's not solving the problem. If they have the bag, there clearly are still the peanuts.
Yeah, like if you have that issue, that restaurant's just got to be off limits to you.
Right. That's my point.
You got to know.
I shouldn't be disrupted because you have a peanut allergy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry about your affliction. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't expect society to rearrange for me because I have OCD. Like, I don't expect everybody to stop what they're doing.
Right.
Why did we disrupt what was a pretty good thing, which was the bucket of peanuts at the Texas Roadhouse?
Right. You could just throw the shells on the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're still gonna have the peanuts there anyway, either go there or you don't.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, they changed it for people.
I always felt that way about smoking bans, too. I used to have this conversation. There were always these do-gooder people, the Smoke-Free Society or whatever, when I was an elected person. They'd always come to me like, you need to put a smoking ban in Brownsburg. I was like, if people don't want to smell smoke, they won't go to that restaurant. Now, public spaces are a different thing, right? Like your public parks or whatever.
Sure.
That's fine. No problem with that. But in terms of restaurants, bars... If you don't want to smell smoke, don't go to that bar.
Right.
It's a business decision for that owner.
Right. Like Nikki Blaine's. Like,
Yes.
smoking ban. Well, it's a cigar bar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've never understood why people have to get disrupted because you have an issue with something. And that's maybe where I'm at with the Texas Roadhouse peanuts.
It's like I saw somebody post something about a HOA. Somebody was jogging and they could smell, they were a non-meat eater, and they could smell somebody grilling meat and decided to post something in the HOA
That bothered them?
Facebook group. Yeah. That, how offensive it was to them.
People have been asking what my hat says. So I just showed it in the YouTube. If you'd like to see it, it says property tax sucks.
Yeah.
I'm
But it's a free hat, by the way.
I'm going to a meeting about property tax later with some dignitarians. I'm going to wear this to let them know.
Yeah.
We had debated, should I, because I brought a dress shirt.
Mhm.
But then I thought, why would I get dressed up? This is how I go to work. Everybody
Yeah.
knows what I am.
Yeah.
Who am I trying to impress? They know what I'm there to talk about.
Are you wearing like sweatpants or do you have
No,
real
I got
pants
jeans on.
You got jeans on
And I got my
today?
shoes, the
Okay.
regular. I'm not wearing the tennis shoes.
Okay.
But I mean, I got my Rolling Stone shirt on, my little sweater,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to wear the hat.
And a property tax.
I mean, that's what I'm there to
sucks
talk about.
Right. I think they're going to get the message really clear when you walk in wearing
I
that
think they already
hat.
have the message.
I'm pretty sure they have the message.
But yes, you're right. So what happened with the hat was my old man ordered this hat for the
rally.
For the rally.
Yeah.
And it didn't show up on time,
Mhm.
and then it was like super late. So they said, okay, you can finally, after whatever amount of days, you can cancel the order. Canceled the order. They gave him his money back, and then like 2 days later, the hat showed up.
arrived.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "Do you want this hat?" I was like, "Sure, buddy, I want this hat."
Yeah, it's still pertinent.
It's a pretty nice hat.
Yeah, it is, and it's still, the message is still out there.
That's right, yes.
Nothing's been done in regards to that message.
Did we get voicemails?
We did, and this first one, this person is just so very bummed.
Yes, of course, messages on this property taxes for the state of Indiana. I am so disappointed with the state and our officials. I think we need to get rid of them. It's pathetic to me. I mean, we're turning into some other crazy states that have these stupid tax problems. Not only are they going to increase and give us city tax now, and we increase our other taxes and our county taxes and our additional income tax, and our property taxes will increase as well. It's just pathetic. I mean, we need to fire these people, including the governor. It just doesn't make any sense to me that the state of Indiana it's going down. And unfortunately, as Republicans, I'm so confused on the revenues that we're bringing in from the state from other property taxes. Currently, but what about all the new ones? And why aren't we taxing the business offices like you guys discussed? Why are the people of Indiana getting taxed, burdened with this stupid, so everybody can drive around these beautiful, nice cars, these Escalades and these other cars? It's so stupid. So I'm just so disappointed. I'm pretty much determined to move out of the state to go to a no-income state. They're a low property tax state as well. I'm just so disappointed. And the lieutenant governor, shame on him. Shame on everybody that wants to raise property taxes and isn't fighting for this reason. Just why in the world would anybody want to spend money out of their pocket and pay more to the government? It is pathetic. So anyways, I appreciate you guys' efforts, and standing up. But unfortunately, can't fix stupid. And apparently our leaders are stupid. And they need to be fired. So anyways, thanks a lot. I sure hope they can turn this around, or they can at least leave this stuff where it was at. It's better where it's at than what they're shooting for. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
So today is day 6 of no comment from Governor Braun on the property tax bill.
That's right. Do we have another voicemail? Because I do have a comment on that, but I want to get to more than one voicemail.
Yep. Here's a quick one. This is about Diego Morales, Secretary of State.
Hi, this is Tom from the People's Republic of Lake County. I just want to point out that Diego Morales likes Nickelback.
Nickelback taking shrapnel.
Okay, so I did want to say I talked to, I would put this person, I would say they're probably one of the top 20 in terms of well-connected Republicans in the state. And this is not a person who's on our side on a lot of things, but they're a big fan of our show because they admire what we do. And I had a long conversation with this person yesterday, and I asked them directly because they know all these people. They're very, very, it's not an office holder. It's a very, very well-connected, influential person and has been a big part of what many of these people are doing and currently doing, and he privately has about had enough with where some of these people are, especially this property tax thing. And I asked him, I said, well, blank, why are they fighting this property tax thing so hard? I asked him two questions. I asked him a question about Diego, and I asked him a question about property taxes. And he said they're fighting the property tax because they believe the most likely end of their political career will be a mayor or a county commissioner challenging them. They believe that your audience, while they're passionate and they're motivated, are not coordinated or able to fundraise to the ability to challenge them in elections. And this is why they will not come off the property tax, because if they piss the wrong trustee or mayor or county commissioner off and they alienate the schools and they will organize against them, they're going to lose in a primary. And he said, this is the same thing we've been telling you guys for months on this show. That is, politicians work out of fear. And unfortunately, they still fear the government people more than they fear us.
Do they fear the voters voting for a different party?
Well, we'll get into that maybe next hour, because I know we got to get to a break with Hammer, but I want to talk about what we talked about with Diego, too.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 306 this afternoon. We'll talk to our friends at the Murder Sheet podcast about the Richard Allen audio and a lot more. 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at We Grow Hair Indy, and I know what you're thinking. I know you wake up each day and you say to yourself, how could I look as beautiful as Rob Kendall? And what are you laughing at, Casey?
Give me the answer. How can I look as beautiful as Rob Kendall?
The answer is head over to We Grow Hair Indy. That's how I got my beauty back, Casey. Casey, are you aware that I married a woman 15 years younger than me? That's because of my youthful beauty, thanks to We Grow Hair Indy. That's right. And you could be in the same camp as me. Just call today, 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, they are awesome. They're great guys. They'll take a look at what's going on the top of your head. They'll give you some recommendations on how you can make that look a little bit better, make it look a lot better, get your confidence back. And in the meantime, you could see some of the other folks who made the same choice to be as beautiful as Rob Kendall by heading over to WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients, including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140, paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
Yeah, let's be honest. How much does it hurt to look at your investments right now? You know, there's a way you could make up for those losses. When you invest $200,000 or more, you get an upfront 20% bonus from Bill Demery. You'll also earn an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past 10 years. And you're going to sleep well knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world.
Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy, my retirement guy, 317-648-5120. Get an upfront 20% bonus on your deposit. 20% bonus. Earn an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the last decade, and sleep well knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
It's JMV, and the greenhouse at Miss M's Home and Garden is bursting with great tropical plants, hibiscus, mandevillas, ferns, palms, and more. State Road 135, south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
If you're pressed for time, the WIBC Mashup Podcast is your shortcut to the smartest, sharpest, and strangest moments on air. It's the best content from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Updated daily. Find the WIBC Mashup wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, real quick, I got an update on the peanuts.
Yeah.
Dr. Joel Starnes, the greatest chiropractor in central Indiana, messaged me and said that the peanut allergy is an airborne allergy.
Okay.
It does not require human contact.
So that's why they got rid of all the peanuts and put them in a bag.
But they still have the peanuts. So if somebody's taking out the Texas Roadhouse, Hammer, you know they got the free peanuts at the Texas.
Do they still do that?
Well, this was the conversation we had, and people said they got rid of the peanuts in the bucket. It's now in a bag. But to my point, with Dr. Joel saying is if it's an airborne allergy and you take the peanut out, it's still going to
affect the other customers.
That's right. So it feels like I got screwed for some guy.
So wait a minute. If you have a peanut allergy, and again, I know nothing of this. By the way, I'm Jason Hammer. I know nothing of this, but if I'm in a room and I've got a peanut allergy and somebody across the room just opens the bag up, I'm in trouble?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
I think it's just he's a doctor.
Are
you a doctor?
So was Fauci.
I think as long as you're 6 feet apart, you'll be okay.
Right, just an arbitrary 6 feet. Maybe, if one person stands up, one person sits down, the allergy, it's like Rona, it can't find you.
Right, and then after 10 p.m.
Right.
Be careful.
If you walk one way and somebody has to walk another way, the allergy can't find you.
Wear your mask.
If you put a plexiglass up, you'll be okay.
All right, what do you got for us today? What's going on?
So, listen, I think we all agree this property tax bill is a no-good, rotten, horrible piece of legislation. And I know you spoke to the lieutenant governor yesterday on your program, and you asked him about it, grilled him about it, which was great. The governor, Mike Braun, is kind enough to join us in studio once a month.
That's right.
So we're working on his appearance for April, trying to see what happens with this property tax thing before we bring him in.
Yes.
But we didn't want to wait that long. So here to comment on this horrible piece of legislation they're trying to shove down our throats, the quote-unquote property tax relief bill, here is AI Governor Braun.
Well, that bill looks like a total turd to me. And not just a regular turd, a turd with a peanut stuck in it. The kind of turd you find in a truck stop bathroom in Du Bois County. That being said, it's not surprising. Look at some of the bought and paid for pieces of crap that put it together. House Speaker Todd Houston looks like a guy that has never satisfied a woman. Senate Pro Temp Rod Bray probably uses the tampons in the men's room like old balls Tim Walz likes. And don't get me started on State Senator Scott Baldwin. If that guy were any more of a slime ball, we would have seen him in the movie Ghostbusters. Let this sink in. He may be the worst person with the last name of Baldwin that I know. That guy truly sucks. I plan to veto this bill faster than the top speed of the new $90,000 car that Michael Beckwith bought. AI Braun, out.
Nice.
AI, Governor Braun, with his thoughts on the property tax bill.
I wish AI Braun was the actual governor. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Right.
Because I feel like the real Governor Braun wants to say all of that stuff, but, he's kind of got to be the governor.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
By the way, speaking of governors and lieutenant governors, yesterday, I think it was yesterday on your program, I put down the challenge. All right. So if Micah Beckwith's going to have this $90,000 car because he's got beefy friends, a.k.a. fat friends.
Yeah, fat friends, yeah.
I feel like as a fat friend, I should be able to, one, be involved in any sort of like cruising the neighborhood since I'm kind of funding the thing.
Yeah, you are. You're paying for it.
And number two, all right, let's just see how fat his friends are. I challenged myself against any one of those fat people that work for Micah Beckwith to do a chicken McNugget eating contest in that car.
Yeah.
Oh, in the car.
In the car.
In the car.
Fantastic.
I want Micah to drive and go through the McDonald's drive-thru and almost like Flounder. I'd like 200 McNuggets, please. And then me and all the other fatties that work in the inner circle with the lieutenant governor. All right, put your money where your fat mouth is. I'm coming in. I've never lost a chicken McNugget eating challenge, and I'm here for that. Now, I think one, maybe two people are in.
One or two of his fat friends?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing some scuttlebutt that the rest of them are getting a little stage fright now.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you are sort of making a hilarious mockery of one of the most stupid quotes ever uttered in Indiana political history that essentially said, I needed a $90,000 car because my buds are chubby.
Right. So let's just see how chubby they are.
How chubby.
How much room is in there. If you put, three of his fat friends in that thing, along with myself, a room for a cameraman, we'll stream this thing live.
I love it.
A chicken McNugget eating challenge.
I love it.
And if any sponsors want to get on board, we will donate it to charity or create some sort of fund, people who really want property tax relief.
Yeah, and here's the great thing, Hammer. Diego set it up where you don't have to reveal the sponsors anymore. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to say
it can be sponsored, but you don't have to tell
That's
anybody
right. You don't
about
have to,
it.
out of the generosity
It'll be
of
at
the
their
sponsors.
discretion.
Right.
If they want to be known.
So I say chicken McNuggets and you think McDonald's, but if you're Chick-fil-A, if you're Raising Cane, if you want to provide said chicken strips, chicken nuggets, whatever the case may be, you can be the presenting sponsor of Micah's Fat Friends vs. Hammer Eat Off.
What's coming up this afternoon?
This afternoon, so the audio of the Delphi killer, his interrogation was leaked out.
Wow.
We've got some reaction to that, plus the Tonus, Tony Kennett.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey
Come
on
on,
93.
fat friends, where you at?
WIBC.
Fatties, let's go.
It's so good, bring a tear to your eyes. Sweet cherry pie.
Get your new garage floor with Comer & Cross. Tony Katz here. And if your garage floor looks lousy, it's got cracks or stains, or if it has a bad epoxy job, or if your patio looks lousy as well, today is the day to call Comer & Cross for your quick and easy estimate. At 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, we're talking about a Midwest company now here in Indianapolis. And when you have a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor, it's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. These guys are the gold standard. Comer & Cross. It's guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint. And the secret is the process. And their process means you're going to have a quality floor that lasts for years to come. They fix all your cracks and pits perfectly and apply your custom floor in 6 stages. And they're all certified employee pros. No freelancers at Comer & Cross. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross estimate on a new garage floor, patio, or basement this spring, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR or go to comercross.com. C-O-M-E-R. comercross.com.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP 105,575. Nautilus MSRP 61,995. Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios. Higher gas prices could be on the way, how digital forensics helped towards the arrest of a man, and a new HOA bill that could be affecting you. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock, all of that and more in 2 minutes after Fox News at the top of the hour. It's 11 o'clock.
So what? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the Treasury Secretary's response to China retaliating again, boosting its tariff on American exports to 84% after the U.S. tariff on Chinese goods rose today to 104%. Scott Besson tells Fox Business because China has a trade surplus, our tariffs will hurt them much more than they'll hurt the U.S.
I think it's unfortunate that the Chinese actually don't want to come and negotiate.
The European Union just announced member countries have approved $23 billion in new tariffs on American exports in retaliation. But Besson says dozens of countries also hit by expanded tariffs want to make deals.
We have opened this process of negotiations country by country.
Now on Wall Street, it's been a yo-yo for the Dow. Down, up. Now it's down almost 300 points. The NASDAQ, though, is gaining 27. President Trump posted on Truth Social about an hour ago, "This is a great time to buy. Be cool. Everything's going to work out well." In another Trump post this morning, the president wrote it's imperative that House Republicans approve the Senate budget bill, adding our country will boom. Now, that budget blueprint funds the Trump agenda, including more money for the border and national security, and it would extend the 2017 Trump tax cuts. He met with House Republicans, urging them to act.
Missouri's Eric Burleson wasn't at the meeting and is still a no, saying the plan doesn't do enough to cut spending.
Trump wants to reduce the interest rates. Trump wants to lower the deficits. The only way to accomplish those is to reduce spending. And $4 billion is not, that's an anemic, that is really a joke.
Fox is told there could be up to 40 Republicans either undecided or opposed to the budget resolution.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. The acting IRS commissioner is going to resign this month.
Melanie Krause is the third IRS leader under the current Trump administration, and she's refusing to comply with this agreement that would grant immigration authorities like ICE access to taxpayer information such as addresses to locate illegal aliens.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Higher gas prices could be coming your way. The chill is still in the air, cloudy and 41 on Monument Circle. Your high today, 49. I'm Kylan Talley. Here's what's trending at 11:02. The Keystone Oil Pipeline, which has a troubled history of leaks, experienced another spill in North Dakota yesterday. That could lead to higher gas prices for you soon. Gas Buddy says the Indiana gas average is $3.18 per gallon, which is down 12 cents from this time last week. Your HOA might not be able to prevent someone in your neighborhood from having an RV or a food truck in the driveway if a bill is discussed in the state Senate Tuesday becomes a law.
A food truck that looks horrible setting in the driveway right next to my property, and now the provision I could use to keep that food truck out is now gone.
Senator Michael Young of Indianapolis says he believes the state would be exerting too much control over homeowners associations by making another law telling them what they can and can't prevent in the neighborhoods. Some lawmakers are afraid that might be detrimental to property values, especially for people who move there, believing those types of vehicles would not be allowed. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Child seduction is a charge against a man from Rochdale. John Herrick reports.
Police say they started looking into a 36-year-old man named Corey Reeves in June of 2024. What they say they found is that Reeves spoke to a minor over social media and provided controlled substances to get child porn from that minor. An arrest warrant for Reeves was issued last week. He was taken into custody on Tuesday along with child seduction. He's also charged with child porn possession and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Threats were made against Republican State Rep Jim Lucas, say Indiana Capitol Police. They arrested 55-year-old Robert L. Bennett of Terre Haute Monday and charged him with 4 counts of felony intimidation. Police say the threats were made in voicemails and on Facebook, but they haven't revealed what was in those messages. Imagine constantly fearing you're sinning or never measuring up in your faith. That's the reality of one of our Indianapolis Colts.
Braden explains as there's the real God that he believes in, and then there's this OCD God that he had.
That's Indy star writer Joel A. Erickson on 107.5 The Fan talking about Colts offensive tackle Braden Smith and his battle with obsessive-compulsive disorder.
This specific form of it became very dangerous.
Smith says he still has OCD, but it just doesn't have a hold on him.
I had never heard of religious scrupulosity before. I wasn't aware that it was a piece of OCD.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm Kylan Talley on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. News time 11:05. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Watching your parents get older is something you never get used to. You know it's going to happen, but it still doesn't seem right, especially when the time comes to consider moving a parent into a nursing home. It's a hard decision for you and them, and when that's the right choice, there's the added stress of what to do with the house. Simple Quarters understands and can help relieve some of that stress. They're a Christian company who is compassionate about what you and your parent are going through. They can help with the logistics of selling the home. They'll buy it as is, no need for repairs, cleaning, staging, or showings. No catch. It's one less thing for you to worry about. Simple Quarters, a Christian company dedicated to helping families through life's transitions. If you're facing the challenge of selling a home due to a loved one moving into an assisted living or nursing home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Or go to simplequarters.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Yesterday, Rob, you said that Governor Mike Braun should just sign an executive order in regards to property tax relief because, well, why not? Holcomb did it when he shut the entire state down, right?
Yeah, think about that. Eric Holcomb put over 1 million people out of work, closed tens of thousands of businesses, some of them forever, totally disrupted our entire collective society and ecosystem via executive order. And there was not a peep from the Republican legislators, the Republican supermajorities at the time. So if the standard in our state is no matter what you do, because what could be more egregious than that, we won't say anything. Why not just do the property tax bill by executive order?
Yeah, so we now have proof that Governor Mike Braun does know how to sign an executive order because he has done one. And this one requires state-affiliated nonprofits to disclose their funders and financial activities.
Okay, so this relates to the IEDC, which this is very good what Braun did yesterday. So the IEDC is it's what they call a quasi-government entity in which public money flows into it. However, there's also private money, I will use the term associated with it. It's how they get around having to tell you things about it. There's all sorts of carve-outs, special rules, whatever. It's a great example of how government creates something with a decent cause or idea or premise, and then it just becomes a monster that gets totally out of hand because special interest gets their hands around it and money rules the day. So Daniels created this in the mid-2000s. The the IEDC, the foundation, it was designed to say, hey, I'm a great business guy, which Mitch Daniels was. There's lots of opportunities that if we can merge the public and private partnership together, that we can attract companies better than if the government is just going on its own, which is absolutely true. Hey, you guys have these areas of expertise. You have these specialties. You have these business people. Oh, and by the way, when we're doing these international trips or whatever, we can find a way so that it's not on the dime of the taxpayers. It was a totally decent idea put forth by Mitch Daniels. But over time, it has grown into this monstrosity where a select group of individuals are pouring large amounts of capital into this IEDF, the Indiana Economic Development Foundation. which is different. It is not directly connected with the IEDC, although they obviously like work in tandem, right? And they are paying for large portions of things to happen, and you're not until now getting information on how much they give. And when you look at, because the website reveals who they are, Capitol Chronicle, by the way, is a fabulous article out about this over at Indiana Capitol Chronicle. See, this is why when people give the Capitol Chronicle crap, oh, they're funded by whoever or their opinions or whatever, that may be true. But they are reporting on things that no one else in the state is reporting on. They are giving insight into things that nobody else is giving insight into. They are an invaluable resource. But they call them the Big Five, okay? Here's who essentially funds this IEDF. It's AES, CenterPoint Energy, Duke Energy, Michigan Power, and the Northern Public Service Company. Casey, what do all those have in common?
Utilities.
And what's going on right now?
Right.
What are we discussing?
The nuclear energy.
Right, which is what? It's going to raise everyone's utility rates. Right? So they're giving huge amounts of money. We don't know exactly how much or for what to this foundation. The foundation is funding Holcomb to do all these international trips. Who's he attracting?
Yeah.
Data centers.
Right.
Big.
Which are using utilities.
Right. Big amounts of power. So now there's not enough power for the things that he has attracted, that these companies paid for him to go on these trips, amongst other companies, to go on these trips through this foundation. You don't have any idea how much was given, where most of the money went to, and now you will at least know how that is happening via order from executive order from Governor Braun.
Yeah, so this is the order that Mike Braun has signed. It requires them to disclose who is giving them the money. It's also retroactive for the past 10 years.
That's awesome.
And also future disclosures. Now, here's the thing with the IEDF is they received nearly $3 million in donations between 2020 and 23. The donor list and how that money was spent is just been largely unknown. And they also exempted themselves from any IRS Form 990 filings, which provide public insight to any of these revenue sources or expenditures. But now, because of this executive order from Governor Braun, it mandates that they comply with these IRS forms, and they also have to give these annual reports with the State Budget Committee. So now you're going to know who gave the money and where it went.
Hey, by the way, a little birdie told me this.
Yeah.
You can pretty much take this to the bank based on who it was. Holcomb, you want to guess how many executive orders Holcomb did during COVID? And not one of them was ever objected to by the General Assembly.
How many he did?
How many?
Oh.
How many?
I have no idea. Well, I know he did one.
Take a guess. How many? Kev.
15.
All right, you're 10. 15. Kev, Price is Right rules. Closest wins. You go over, you lose. How many executive orders?
I'm going to say 18.
You're at 18. Kevin, you are the grand prize showcase winner. 70.
70?
70 executive orders.
Wow.
So if you're Braun, why wouldn't you just come out and say, so you'll let this guy through 70 executive orders shut the state down, try to put you in jail for not wearing a mask? I'm going to try property taxes and dare you to try to override my executive order. Why wouldn't you do that?
Did they get rid of the emergency executive order? I know there was talk about it for a while.
It expired.
Okay.
It expired. Now, this is the great part about all this. So if you'll remember, keep in mind, the General Assembly is littered with attorneys, people who make their living writing and arguing about the law. They wrote a bill at the end of Holcomb, I don't know, a couple years left in his term, that was so poor. Abdul and I looked at it, like from the day it was written, and said, that's going to fail in court. And boy, howdy, Holcomb sued the General Assembly, and it failed in court. And then Rod and Todd and the Flanders boys and the Good Time Fun Gang over there went, Well, we tried, and the court just wouldn't let us shut down Holcomb's executive. So today, thankfully, we have a much better governor than we had with Holcomb. But today, Governor Braun could do almost everything Eric Holcomb did, and there was nothing. It would be exactly the same.
Nothing.
All that. So my point is, dare them. Say, okay, so you, the Republicans, were fine with society being shut down through executive order, but you won't let property tax relief happen. Why not?
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, just go for it. 6 days since Governor Braun has made any comment about the property tax bill.
That is not good.
So why is that? Is he negotiating? Is he just doing a wait and see?
It doesn't matter. I think, and this is one of the issues I've had with Braun. I think he's tried very hard. I think he's held up from just a pure, I'm going to fight for this, into the bargain. I think he has dealt too much inside the institution. And I think that's one of the problems with coming out of the legislature and the Senate, the Indiana General Assembly and the Senate, is he believed he could negotiate with these guys. At this point, we're going to get screwed. I mean, there's no way you're going to rectify what was in the House and what was in the Senate. And so my advice to the governor, if I were to see him, would be just call it out at this point. Like it's like a relationship or a marriage that cannot be salvaged. Like there's no way you're going to square your goal with what these people are producing. And I get that he is torn. I think he is torn on the idea of trying to get something for some people. But my advice to him would be, once you sign off on this, you are going to have to own whatever garbage comes out of this. And whatever minor amount of relief you may be able to get in this, it's going to be eclipsed by the garbage, and you're going to forever own it. Politically, the best thing you could do right now would be say, I've tried with these people. I've tried to negotiate with them. They will not come off it, and I am not going to sign a bad deal for the taxpayers, which right now, a 368-page monstrosity
is a bad deal.
Is a bad deal.
Yeah.
And you got to just cut bait. And look, if people get nothing right now, that's better than what's being presented.
Right. It's better than income taxes going up.
Right.
Yeah.
Your income tax will go up. The property tax savings are negligible to the income tax increases, and it's a massive giveaway to these big businesses through the personal property tax elimination, which means you will jam new people up into the cap who weren't into the cap if the business personal property tax is not a part of it. That would be my advice to him. I'm sure he doesn't want nor need my advice, but I'm just saying right now, our audience would go ballistic if you, after going to that rally, signed on anything that resembles what's in the House right now.
It's interesting you mentioned that rally, because let's just do a little bit of a flashback.
I spent 2 years, 23 and 24, listening, which most people in this business don't do. They tell you what you think they want you to hear, may make a glib promise, and never follow through on it. You know me, I don't do it, and I am a fighter, right, dear? Yeah. And all that you're asking is that you want to keep more of your own money.
Okay, so we'll see where he lands.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot that he's in right now.
And the longer he goes without making a statement, the worse he needs to come out, because they're voting on it today. They're voting on second reading on this today. They're not going to approve any amendments. They're going to have any meaningful change to what this abomination that the House Ways and Means Committee produced. So just make the statement. I know he wanted to give the process time to play out. It's clearly not getting better.
Yeah.
So say something.
Right. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
You understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
when you work,
We are going to make some noise today.
Eliminate property taxes now.
Hanging out with us, it's fun.
Right.
when you drive home,
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
traffic when you need it,
Stopped on 465 again.
and updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
You're listening to 93 WIBC. I'm Matt Bear. I'm excited to have a special guest joining us, Jeff Jr., the founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. What's up, Matt? I hear your connection to Indiana runs pretty deep. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife used to live in Indiana, and my father and mother-in-law, they actually live in Kokomo. And my brother-in-law, he lives in Franklin. With so much family here, it was only natural to bring Trajan wealth to greater Indiana and help all the Hoosiers plan for a better financial future.
I also know you and your wife served our country in the Marine Corps. Would you say the Marine Corps helped with the financial business you're in?
Unequivocally, yes. I completely credit the Marine Corps with most all of the intangible qualities such as leadership, attitude, willingness to learn.
Trajan Wealth is a family-run, veteran-owned financial fiduciary. Call them today, 317-480-4040, 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Quality Supply and Tool, your premier supplier of construction equipment, tools, and supplies, is looking for CDL drivers to serve out of our Indianapolis location. We're currently accepting applications for both CDL-A and CDL-B drivers. We offer competitive pay to qualified applicants. Work for an established and growing family-owned Indiana company? Please contact Brian Myers for more information at 317-690-2016. That's Brian Myers at Quality Supply and Tool, 317-690-2016.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
So Indiana is going to host a nuclear energy retreat this summer, and it is co-sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy and the National Governors Association. The event is to focus on nuclear energy engagement, also to educate people across the state. Now, do you think this has anything to do with the SMRs?
Well, totally. And this is why I was very surprised. I saw Micah Beckwith come out with some big post supporting this and the governor's energy agenda. Now, Braun has said he would not sign a bill that includes rate increases for consumers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's going to square that with the fact that the Senate is desperately pushing, in the House, are desperately pushing this bill that has the ratepayer on the hook for this experimental technology. And I know these people have been like, it's not experimental, it's ironclad. Okay, then why did they insist? Why did the utilities insist the language in the bill say that if the technology fails, we, the ratepayer, are still on the hook for it? This is what the government does a horrible job of explaining is, okay, we're running out of the reliable ways to power our state because our state is growing. Okay, and this is the same thing I ask in the community in which I live. What has the growth gotten me as a lifelong resident? How have I benefited as someone who was here and made this place a place that people want to come to? What has the benefit of the growth been for me if everything keeps getting more expensive?
Right.
How does the LEAP district benefit me? The answer is it does not. The property taxes are encapsulated and pay in a very specific area. I don't get any benefit out of that. The income tax, okay, maybe, but that's negligible when you compare to what the amount of power and resources that place needs and how I'm going to pay for that and subsidize that. The amount of people that are coming in, the jobs are not going to traditional Hoosiers in most cases. They're coming to outside people from places like India who are flooding into this country, who are buying access into this country.
Buying access or needing work visas.
And so what I am seeing is the landscape that I knew and loved as a child. And I get things change. I'm not opposed to growth. But in all growth, and I always looked at this as an elected official, which is how we were able to, hey, if you cut property taxes all 4 years you were in office, raise your hand. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's right. That's me. I'm one of the few people breathing in this state who can say they did that. I did the largest municipal property tax cut in the history of the state, voluntary in the history of the state, because growth should be about what does it do for the people that are already there. And what our growth did was cut those tax rates to the point where our school system, we're one of the few school systems in the state who could do a 50-year construction project without raising anyone's taxes. No referendums, no nothing. Like, that is how you do growth. The growth has to benefit the people that are there. And the benefit can either be in terms of a quality of life, or it should be a mixture of a quality of life and the cost of that life. And so all of this stuff that we're doing, it keeps just adding. All these data centers, all of these things seemingly just add to the cost of what it costs me to live. Oh, and by the way, it ruins my existence because of traffic, congestion, people, all of these other things.
Yeah,
what do I get out of it?
Makeup of the state. Yeah, it's completely changing what Indiana has been for years. So
I was very surprised that Micah Beckwith came out in support of this, given what the current legislation looks like and how it is going to raise the rates of utility consumers.
Well, I just wonder if Micah Beckwith isn't just supporting the governor, because Mike Braun sees the retreat, anyway, as an opportunity to bring nuclear energy to Indiana. He said that Indiana is positioned to be a national leader in nuclear energy. Some of the objectives of this retreat are obviously education, and they want to establish a state-based nuclear working group. They also want to create a statewide community engagement strategy. They want to analyze the economic development for nuclear energy as well.
Yeah, I just everything that our government does. I mean, this is very similar to me about like when they studied road funding, right? And what did they end up with? Just a massive tax increase. They could have just pulled that out of their backside in about 20 minutes. And all the, we studied it and we this. And where are we at? 8 years later, oops, guess we didn't do it right. Oh, gonna have to raise your taxes again. Every time they do this stuff, all that ends up coming out of it is a more expensive cost of life for us. If the businesses are not paying for themselves, if they're not lowering the cost of living for everyone else, stop approving them. If these housing developments are not paying for themselves, if they're not lowering the cost of living for everyone, stop approving them. Why do we keep rolling out the red carpet for people who are not making our lives better?
So having a cat or a dog might boost your mood just as much as getting married. This according to some new research. They said the study found that pet owners were happier by 3 to 4 points on a 1 to 7 scale of life satisfaction. Now, here's the thing. If you use their method, they said that owning a pet will boost your mental health by the tune of $90,000 a year.
No, I don't think that.
Yep.
No
That's
way.
how much income you would need to create the same amount of happiness as having an animal around.
No.
90,000.
What'd they say for a person?
They didn't say.
Oh, is it negative?
I was going to
the
say,
other way?
in some instances, that could decrease your level of happiness. Depends on the person.
I get what they're saying. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, look, animals are a lot of work, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not as much work as children. You can't put them in a crate and leave.
The children, no.
I mean, you're not
you
allowed
can't
to do that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They say that pets bring you some health benefits, like dog owners tend to walk more and feel less stressed.
Yeah.
And you're calmer.
Yeah.
Than you are around your spouse sometimes when you're around an animal.
I can see this. They're saying like the mental health, but I mean, there's also like a lot of work and worry and things like that. They're not factoring in like what if a pet has a health problem or something.
No, they didn't factor that in, but they do say that dog lovers were more emotionally stable and cat lovers were more curious.
This is $90,000 annually. Annually, right? So like over the course of my dog's life, it would have been $1 million.
Depending on how long was he around? 14 years?
10 years.
Yeah.
10 and a half years.
Okay. Yeah. He gave you $1 million worth of stability.
Oh, definitely. And look at
stability.
Look at how stable I turned out.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to start looking at another dog or cat. You never know. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The Trump administration is freezing more money for colleges. I'm Kylan Talley. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The Trump administration is freezing more than $1 billion in federal funding for Cornell University. The New York Times says Cornell is under investigation following allegations of anti-Semitism and racial discrimination connected to the institution's diversity initiatives. Cornell says they're still seeking information after receiving 75 stop work orders from the Defense Department, adding the funding freeze impacts grants that support research they call significant to American defense, cybersecurity, and health. A new study shows that nearly 3 in 5 Hoosiers say the process for paying for college isn't easy to understand. Bill Wozniak, Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of the Indiana-based nonprofit Invested on First Date with Terry Stacy, says the FAFSA is the best way to limit student debt, but also suggests
working with the financial aid office at all our wonderful Indiana colleges is a great thing. And then any other scholarship deadlines that are set by the scholarship provider themselves.
Students looking to attend post-secondary education this fall have to submit their FAFSA by next Tuesday, tax day, April 15th. I'm Kylan Talley, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indy. Darren Andrews, clinic director, is here to tell us more.
The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Grow your hair back today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your evaluation. 317-522-2995.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale, only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now, your big ideas don't have to wait. They have everything they need to come to life, because Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. A technology that loves expanding your business and evolving your passion. We push what technology can do so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, it's hard to believe we're a week and a half away from Easter. And this Easter season, if you're feeling called to something different, could be a first church home, a new church home, or just something completely different, consider checking out the place we call home, Life Church. Life Church would love to meet and welcome you this Easter season. They've got a great sense of community there, and you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. See why for yourself. They got campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services. Learn more about everything on the web, lifechurchin.com.
I'm a proud owner of B Window.
I'm a proud B Window owner.
I'm a proud B Window owner.
When you work with a local employee-owned home improvement company like B Window, quality comes first, because your home improvements are a reflection of our business. And for a limited time, we're extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to be.
Trust me.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling? We'll find that independent American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
We were talking about executive orders and one that Governor Mike Braun has signed, but how about Donald Trump, your president? He has signed 111 executive orders, marking the highest number at this point in any presidency in at least 100 years.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, but this is a real concern because there's a way our government is supposed to work, right? In the check and balance system. And that is everybody's supposed to keep an eye on each other, right? Mm-hmm. The legislature, the legislative branch is as important as the executive branch, and the executive branch is as important as the judicial branch. And that's this incredible system that our founders set up that everybody was supposed to keep an eye on each other. However, it sort of seems like we have, and this has become more with every president, it seems like it becomes more and more excessive, where we just default to a quasi, almost king-like existence. And look, I'm not blaming Trump if the tool is there for you and you feel like you got to get the things done and that's the only way. But wow, it is, we have long moved past what our founders envisioned in terms of how our government was going to work with all of these things happening through executive authority.
So CNN says that Donald Trump is not a lame duck. If anything, he's a soaring eagle.
I think there was this concern among some folks that Donald Trump would come in for a second term and kind of be a lame duck. He ain't no lame duck. If anything, he's a soaring eagle. What am I talking about here? Let's talk about Trump executive orders in 2025. He's already signed 111 so far. That is the most at this point in a presidency in at least 100 years. In fact, it's the most in any single year, and we're only in April, since Harry S. Truman in the early 1950s. The bottom line is whether you like Trump or you don't like him, you can't say that he's come in and not try to deliver on what he at least believes was his promises on the campaign trail, and he's doing so in historic fashion.
So they did a poll and they asked about Trump's presidential power approach, and 86% said that it's completely different, and only 14% said that it was in line with precedent. So a few other things going on with Donald Trump. One, he's going to the doctor. He put out a note and he said that he's pleased to report that his long-scheduled annual physical examination will be done at Walter Reed Army Medical Center on Friday. He said he's never felt better, but nevertheless, these things must be done. So
these things must be done.
Must be done. It's the full examination of your president,
right?
Very
good. Now, is this the whole thing? Is this like the glove and the bend over and
the turn your head and cough?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Like,
I assume so. It is the annual physical exam. You're a guy. That's part of the annual physical exam.
Well,
right?
not at my age. I'm also not nearly as old as the president.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting into where they're starting to talk about those sort of things, but I'm still.
You're still a few years away from
You realize I am still, of the people on air, I am still infinitely younger than every other person. Like, I'm the baby.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
How old is Katz? Is he 50? What is he? He got to be close, right? Do we know how old Katz is?
Probably.
You realize we know nothing about Tony Katz?
Well, he's got. Yeah, I'm just basing it on the age of his children, right?
Kev,
I think he's 51.
No, you making that
Just
up.
from listening to him, I've gauged his age as 51.
Are you being serious?
That's what I think.
51?
Kevin's doing the math.
We'll ask
we
Matt.
need to ask Carl about it.
Carl would know. Is Carl still here? No, he's left.
Yeah.
Okay, you say 51. What do you think Katz is?
I'm going to say 49.
49.
I think if he were to be turning 50, we would know. Like,
Okay,
it would be a thing.
I'll go low and say he's 48.
You think so?
Now, does Katz dye his hair? That's a big question because his hair is jet black. Does Katz dye his hair? See,
no, I think that's natural.
Really?
Yeah.
At that age?
Yeah.
Well,
He's just one of those guys. You think that there's some natural salt and
I don't
pepper
know.
there?
I'm asking. I don't know. I'm blessed that I don't really have that issue either, although my hair's not as dark as it used to be.
You don't have it yet.
No, but I will.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have strands of gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 48. Kev's 49.
No, you're not 48.
No. I'm saying
okay.
I'm in at 48.
I said 51.
51, and you're in at 49.
Yeah.
All right, we'll find out.
I don't think he's 50 just
We'll ask
yet.
Matt. Matt will know, or David would know.
We'll pull up his personnel file.
How do we even get on that? I forget.
Because Donald Trump is going to the doctor.
But why did I?
His annual exam.
Yeah,
I asked you about your annual exam. And you said you're not there yet
Yeah,
because
but-
you're still young.
But why did I get on to see this is horrible? I would fail the 3 things. You know, they give you the 3.
The cognitive test. One thing that Donald Trump did say is that he called J.B. Pritzker from Illinois sloppy J.B. He called him the rotund governor from the once great state of Illinois. He makes Chris Christie look like a male model.
Okay, so full disclosure. I sent this to Casey and said I'd like to do a dramatic reading of this, but then I got a meeting I got to go to coming up, and I was worried.
You're losing your voice.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe you do need that annual
I don't know.
exam.
I don't know why I'm losing my voice because I feel fine, right? I mean, but I was worried my voice. I need to be able to talk in this meeting, and I was worried the voice would not survive doing the. You want to give it a try?
You want to give it a reading?
Kev, how long do we have, Kev? Well, we have plenty of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got time.
Let me pull this up. I'll give it a shot. If I can't talk in this meeting and our whole property tax system,
Do it for the show, Rob.
If I can't talk,
you are the giving tree.
If I can't talk in this meeting and our whole property tax system goes down the drain, I'm.
It's because of this dramatic reading.
I'm going to.
I don't think that's why.
When did I send this to you? Where is it at?
I don't know. We had a really long text chain last
I know that's
night.
what I'm trying to,
It's in there somewhere.
I'm trying to find it. I know I sent it to you.
Oh, you sent it to me early in the day, so
I did?
you're going to have to go far
there it is.
back.
There
in
it
the
is.
text.
Oh, boy,
Yeah.
there were so many. All right. Kev, are you ready? Sloppy J.D. Pritzker, the rotund governor.
Oh, no.
From the once great state of Illinois, who made Chris Christie look like a male model, and whose family wanted him out of the business because he was so pathetic at helping them run it, has presided over the destruction and disintegration of Illinois at levels never seen before in any state. Crime is rampant, and people are, sadly, fleeing Illinois. Unless a change is made at the governor's level, Illinois can never be great again. Exclamation point. That wasn't great, but I gave it the effort.
Yeah, you did. You gave it a shot, which I applaud you for.
It was
that.
it was like the Michael Jordan flu game. It'll live on. It's the effort.
Score 3 points right there, did you? So Donald Trump picking a fight with J.D. Pritzker. This is him saying, get rid of that guy. We need a new governor in the state.
Somebody in the YouTube chat just said Tony is 51 and he just had a birthday.
Oh, Kevin, you were right.
How do you know? But,
wow.
But maybe they're making that up.
You trust everything on the internet, Rob.
And the guy goes by the name Joe Z. Like
Josie's not lying to you.
Joe Z.
Josie is not lying. That's what I'm saying. If Tony had a birthday, he would make sure everybody knew it was his
That's
birthday.
right. He does strike me. I think remember when he used to come into work, he used to like do some sort of breakfast spread on his birthday where he would pay
Right,
for
he
it.
feeds
so
everyone
everyone
else.
tell him thank you.
Right, and then happy birthday. Right. So does Josie know exactly when his birthday is?
I don't know. I mean, now think about that. If Katz is, so it would be somebody, then Katz, then Nigel, then Hammer, then me. That'd be the order.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I can't imagine who.
I don't know.
Some lady you work with. I don't know. That's right. I'm the oldest and you're the youngest. How about that? We've got the entire range. I'm glad you point that out. That's fine. That's fine. I'm the oldest on the air stuff. Look how good I look.
Oh, you're fabulous.
All
You're by
right.
far the best looking person in here. There's no doubt about that whatsoever.
So another thing that Donald Trump did is he planted a new tree at the White House. Did you see the pictures of him? By the way, did you see him at that event he was at last night where he said people were calling him up left and right?
No, I heard it. We played the audio.
The color of his hair has changed a little.
There's no doubt he dyes his hair. There's no doubt.
I'm thinking that he stopped dyeing his
Oh,
hair.
right.
Because rather than have a blonde, orangish tone, it looks silver.
Well, there comes a point where it's ridiculous. You're an 80-year-old man. Or
And
almost 80.
I think he looks good in
Just
the
let
silver.
it go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, there comes a point where you having the boot black is utterly ridiculous. I mean, like 51, which apparently Katz is, I mean, that's fine. But I mean, if you are a 70-year-old person and you've got jet black hair.
But the picture of Donald Trump looked good. I mean, he had the shovel and he was still in, of course, the suit, but he was digging the hole to plant the new magnolia tree at the White House.
Yeah,
and,
Okay, so we got to find out how old Kenneth doesn't count. He's only here an hour a day, and he's not even here most times. Kenneth doesn't count.
Okay.
I'm the youngest.
Oh, yeah, if you put Kenneth in that, you're not the youngest.
They judge the rating 6A to 6P. That's how our industry judges us. That's what we're judging off of.
I think we got it. I think I'm the oldest and you're the youngest. That's fine. We'll be the bookends on this fabulous radio station. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show 306. This afternoon, we'll talk to our friends at the Murder Sheet podcast about the Richard Allen audio and a lot more. 93 WIBC.
Yeah, let's be honest. How much does it hurt to look at your investments right now? You know, there's a way you could make up for those losses. When you invest $200,000 or more, you get an upfront 20% bonus from Bill Demery. You'll also earn an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past 10 years. And you're going to sleep well knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world.
Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy, my retirement guy, 317-648-5120. Get an upfront 20% bonus on your deposit. 20% bonus. Earn an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the last decade, and sleep well knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Get your new garage floor with Comer & Cross. Tony Katz here. And if your garage floor looks lousy, it's got cracks or stains, or if it has a bad epoxy job, or if your patio looks lousy as well, today is the day to call Comer & Cross for your quick and easy estimate. At 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, we're talking about a Midwest company now here in Indianapolis. And when you have a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor, it's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. These guys are the gold standard. Comer & Cross. It's guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint. And the secret is the process. And their process means you're going to have a quality floor that lasts for years to come. They fix all your cracks and pits perfectly and apply your custom floor in 6 stages. And they're all certified employee pros. No freelancers at Comer & Cross. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross estimate on a new garage floor, patio, or basement this spring, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR or go to ComerCross.com. C-O-M-E-R. ComerCross.com.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
City water or well water, get better water with C&J. Best prices of the year at C&J. Great systems, great people too. Just call them 317-733-SOFT.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more on your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it.
And there goes the last DJ who plays what he wants to play and says
You know, Rob, we have meetings occasionally, at least once a week with our boss.
That's right.
And
They tell us how good we're doing.
Yes. Well, right now.
To their
There's
dismay.
also been the meeting where they tell us how awful we're doing.
Well, let me explain real quick. So we have the weekly staff meeting, and this is the arc of my time here at WIBC.
Yeah.
Which is the original staff meetings were like 30 minutes of telling me things I need to do better.
Right.
And then gradually over time, they've gotten less and less lengthy because they don't understand sometimes why we're as successful as we are. But like any good boss,
They just let it go.
They're just like, just let him do his thing.
Yeah, as long as they're successful, we don't care.
We've worn
They don't
them
want
down.
to know how the sausage is made as long as the sausage is made.
We've worn them down to the point where they're like, just it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
right? Like this guy shouldn't be as successful as he is. But a big reason is you, Casey, because you do all the actual work.
Well, you know what? There's something that came out from from Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan.
Yes.
And he has told his staff that they're no longer allowed to do something during their weekly meetings.
Oh.
And this is something that I think you and I have both been guilty of.
What's that?
He is banning this very common behavior. He has ordered his staff to stop reading texts and emails in meetings. He said it's disrespectful and that it wastes time as well.
Yeah, that's not probably a bad move if you're in some sort of super corporate environment. Generally, our show meetings are just reviewing very high level things we've done on the show. What are some trends in radio? How are the ratings looking? Which obviously they're looking fabulous. I mean, look, that's what our industry comes down to.
Right.
What's that number say at the end of each month? And every month, thanks to you. See, this is where we really got to thank our audience. You, our fabulous audience, are the reason I don't got to work. So you, our fabulous audience, right? We thank you because without you, I'd be in big trouble.
Well, I don't think that our boss is worth $25 million
true.
like Jamie Dimon is.
Yeah, I don't think David makes that much.
Yeah, but he said that you should be paying attention during meetings. I see people in meetings all the time who are getting notifications or personal texts, and they're reading their emails, and that this has to stop. It's disrespectful. It wastes time. He also said that when you get an email, that you should only read it once. He said, don't read the same email 2 or 3 times. Most can be addressed immediately. So you just take a high-level look at it and then reply. Some people get into the weeds too much when they review it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's all sort of all about what business you work in, what company you work for, and how high up the food chain are you?
Yeah.
Like if you're meeting with Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of, what's the technical?
JP Morgan.
JP Morgan, Chase, whatever, Chase
I
Bank.
think they dropped the Chase.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well,
I
so called
believe
Chase
so.
Bank.
Correct.
But the name is just JP Morgan.
JP Morgan, yeah.
Okay. If you're meeting with this guy,
Yeah.
he is probably, if you were to say who are the 10 most important people in the American financial industry, he's there.
Yeah, he's up
right.
there.
So when he's speaking, whatever he's deciding to do will have billions of dollars of economic impact on society. So you're going to maybe sit up a little straighter than some just a bunch of cackling hens talking about the week that was in radio. Right? I mean, let's just be honest. It's a little different impact.
Importance level.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to say that, I mean, our bosses always give us great ideas and they give us great analysis of the industry. But even if we don't succeed in executing their game plan, the worst thing is our ratings might go down a little bit.
Right.
I mean, bad for the company.
Well, sure.
But
and not great for us either.
If JP Morgan
It's not
wants
taking down an entire economic
right.
system.
If they screw up, yeah, your 401k, your 401k, your retirement, your quality of life could all be dramatically impacted. With us, it's just like, boy, that show was really crappy today.
Right? That wasn't so good. Now, there is one person that I would hope would read my email or my note very thoroughly, and that would be like a doctor. You know,
Sure.
like,
well, right.
They need to know. Go through all of the details.
But this is why, see, like life is all about choices. I have written this to my daughter numerous times in her journal, that your life will be about, and my wife and I have this conversation all the time. Your life is about choices. And the older I get, the more I understand this, which is I decided at a very young age, I am going to put an onus on enjoying my job and enjoying the life that the job allows me to live, rather than just simply how much money I can make on a piece of paper. My degree is in general studies. It's not in business. I originally considered a career in business, and then I thought, it seems like a lot of classes I'm going to have to take and work.
A lot of work?
So I've accepted, while I do very well, thank you, Urban One, by radio standards, I've accepted I'm never going to make $1 million a year. But I can live a comfortable middle-class existence, knock on wood, and provide for my family, and that's good enough for me. But that also means that in my meetings, I'm going to be in meetings where my bosses allow me to send text messages while we're talking. If I wanted the life where you got to wear a suit and sit up straight and yes, sir, no, sir, yeah, you'd make more money. That'd be miserable.
You'd chosen a different path. Now, I was in a meeting once, and I had just met the person, and I grabbed my phone, and he kind of gave me a look, and I said, no, I'm opening up my notes app because I'm taking notes. Just want to let you know what I'm doing.
Because you have been on the corporate side of radio. You have been the worst of all worlds, which is not making any money and having all the responsibility.
Boy, middle management's awful, isn't it? Because you got to toe the company line and keep all the herding of the cats.
I told this to Adam Wren in that interview we did in Importantville. That was the one where he said I'm the most powerful.
The most powerful voice in radio in the great state of Indiana.
And he was asked, like, what's next for you? Because everybody always thinks I'm going to go somewhere else and do something else.
Right.
Why? Why? You and I were having this conversation last night.
Yeah.
I love my job. I love the person I work with. You do all the work.
Oh, I know, right?
Right?
Not all the work, but some of it, yeah.
I show up here for about 4 hours a day, and then I'm out of here by 1, and I go home and eat my Arby's,
right,
and watch my Chris Hansen stories, right, until I got to pick my kid up from daycare.
You're living a wonderful life.
Why would I give that up?
Good for you.
And
yeah, everybody wants you to return to politics.
Middle class existence, Casey, is fine with me. I don't need a big house. I don't need a great car, but you give and you get, and you choose the corporate. Based on the environment you choose to work in, often dictates the sort of pay, but it also dictates the sort of life you have outside of that corporate environment.
Right, absolutely, your quality of life, and you have made a choice. And something that you had mentioned last night, when it comes to politics, there's always another battle around the corner.
Sure.
It just never ends.
If you're good, if you care about people.
Right. But we like to keep it at an arm's length, right?
I like to just battle for myself these days.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of which, tomorrow's the start of the Masters. So I'm just, I always do this. You know what you're in for.
Yeah.
I'll be operating about 25% capacity.
It'll still be good.
It'll be fine.
You're going to be watching it while we're on the air.
You're going to have to do 97%
What
of the work
time does it start?
Oh, I think it's like 7:30.
In the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is you're getting nothing out of me tomorrow.
I can recall in years past we'll be in mid-conversation, and then you're like Doug, the dog. Squirrel! We'll be like in mid-conversation about something important, and then somebody will tee off, and you'll have to
my
comment.
guys.
Yeah.
So I got Lowry, I got ShamWow, Neiman, Oberg, and Mackelman.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right.
There's your guys.
I look forward to it.
Good luck with tomorrow's show.
Are you going to be wearing green tomorrow? Be thematic?
Nah.
Okay.
I may be wearing this property tax sucks hat, but that's green.
Get a pimento cheese sandwich or something like that. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening. It's been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from our agency, your Indiana Health Insurance Pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for making us national sales leaders once again for 2024. Crazy sign-up periods are at last over. If you were told the ACA and it's still Obamacare was your only option, that's just not true. If you were told since you've signed up already, you must keep your ACA program for a year, that's not true either. If you do not have serious health problems, and God forbid make a living wage, the ACA is your worst option, and it can be canceled at any time. We feature coverages guaranteed age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. Self-employed, early retiree, or ACA victim, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. As always, God bless America. Peace through strength and common sense government.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Seymour Police, Jackson County EMS.
I've been relatively apolitical. I am not a scientist.
The panel of 3 judges will decide. Sometimes HOAs become a little bit too aggressive.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
A crash and a life lost.
I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm Sean Herrick. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. There was a large traffic backup on US 50 in Seymour Tuesday morning.
Seymour Police, Jackson County EMS, Seymour Fire Department. We're called to a crash on the east side of Seymour on US 50.
State Police Sergeant Stephen Wheelis says a woman in a Mazda car collided with a man in a box truck and later died at a hospital. They're trying to figure out what caused the crash, and toxicology results are pending.
The Senate Commerce Committee holding a confirmation hearing for entrepreneur Jared Isaacman to become the new NASA administrator. Here's part of what Isaacman said this morning.
I've been relatively apolitical. I am not a scientist. I never worked at NASA. I do not think these are weaknesses. In fact, I believe President Trump found them to be strengths. And if confirmed, I will bring all my experience to the greatest adventure in human history, the quest to discover the secrets of the universe.
Isaacman led a crew of commercial astronauts aboard the SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission back in 2024.
The fight for fairness in women's sports is causing a legal battle in Vermont. The Mid-Vermont Christian School women's basketball team says they have been penalized after they forfeited a game against a team with a transgender player.
The panel of 3 judges will decide if the Vermont Principals Association violated the players' First Amendment rights by punishing them for their freedom of religion. A freshman on the team tells Fox that they're missing out on opportunities because they stood for what they believe is right.
Yeah, I definitely feel violated. I definitely feel nervous playing against men. Like when I play against my brother, it's definitely, there's a disadvantage for me.
So Mid-Vermont Christian head coach Chris Goodwin tells Fox that he had safety concerns about his players competing against the transgender athlete. Coach Goodwin said he's cautiously optimistic about today's hearing, and he's proud of his players.
That's Fox's Nate Foy. The Vermont Principals Association says the school violated its discrimination policies. The school lost its previous arguments in state and federal court, and a ruling in this case could take about 1 to 2 months.
You might not be able to do anything about it if you live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association and someone moves in with a food truck or an RV and they park it in their driveway. A bill discussed Tuesday in the state Senate would make HOAs powerless to prevent it.
Sometimes HOAs become a little bit too aggressive. And sometimes when there's new technology, they want to force that new technology. And sometimes we have to step in and make sure that they don't.
Republican State Senator Mike Bahutchik supporting the bill.
Threats made against Rep. Jim Lucas were made in both voicemails and on Meta, say Indiana Capitol Police. Monday, they served a search warrant and arrested Robert Bennett of Terre Haute. He's charged with 4 counts of felony intimidation and was still in jail on